This is an emergency live stream. Please stand by for a Smitty announcement. Alert! Alert! This is an emergency live stream. Please stand by for a Smitty announcement. Alert! Alert! This is an emergency live stream. Please stand by for a Smitty announcement. Alert! Alert! This is an emergency live stream. Please stand by for a Smitty announcement. Alert! Alert! This is an emergency live stream. Please stand by for a Smitty announcement. Alert! Alert! This is an emergency live stream. Please stand by for a Smitty announcement.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios, it's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern.
What is up, good buddies? I appreciate you joining me today for a little bit of good news and bad news mixed together. Najee Harris, foot injury, came back negative. The man looks like he might even be capable and ready for week 2. We'll get into that and more. Eli Mitchell out for 2 months. We talked about this last night. We talked about how that impact to the knee right here ended up stretching that MCL. It was clear as day he was going to be missing at least 4 to 6 weeks, 4 to 8 weeks, somewhere around that time period because of that MCL tear. Good news is there's no ACL tear. Usually when that goes like that, it snaps the ACL. We'll get into all that and more. The Fantasy Football Show news desk, here we come.
From the FantasyFootballShow.com news desk, here is your breaking news.
So I gotta say, it's great news that Naji Harris is potentially going to be maybe ready for week number 2. This report comes from Schefter Test results on the foot came back negative. They're looking at that Liz Frank injury, as well as I'm sure looking at the knee and looking at some other things because his knee and leg got bent backwards. So they probably did a battery of tests on Najee Harris, and everything came back good. There's a belief that, according to a source being told to Adam Schefter, that he could be good to go for Sunday's game against the Patriots. Now, I will say this. As much as I want to be like, okay, all steam ahead, let's go Najee. I love Najee going forward. Let's, dig our heels in. We loved him before this injury. I feel very, very apprehensive about Najee moving forward. I feel very, very worried about Najee moving forward. Offensive line concerns, injuries to this team, the fact that they haven't moved on. Ask Ron Navy. Drop a couple Ron Navy anchors while you're at it. Ask Ron Navy. The fact they're not moving on to Pickett and trying to make the best decision at the quarterback spot. I worry about the offense a little bit. I really loved what I saw for the majority of this game on Sunday. I thought, man, the Pittsburgh Steelers, the defense is unreal. Now you got the injury to Watt. Things are going to change drastically for the defense, and that's going to trickle down and cascade toward the offense moving the football down the field and the game flow. I have to say, this news makes me want to trade Najee. The fact that you can even get out at this point, the guy was overworked to an extreme degree last year as a rookie. That's always a concern when people say, Smitty, why aren't you concerned about Najee's workload when you keep saying, hey, this guy's overworked, he's going to break down because he's overworked. The God's honest truth is I have those feelings, but the reason why I don't run for the hills when it comes to Najee, or I didn't, is because he's still very young. Would I worry about 2 or 3 years of the kind of workload Najee got piling up, and then year 3 or 4 me being, I'm out. Let somebody else take Najee Harris because he's had 2 or 3 years of the kind of work he got his rookie year. But you couple the mileage he put on as a rookie with the fact that he had a Liz Frank injury that they didn't tell us about. Everybody had already drafted at that point. The news broke literally the week walking into fantasy football that he had a Liz Frank injury because he played that final preseason game, and he wouldn't have gone out on the field if the Liz Frank injury was a concern at the moment. But he apparently had the makings of the symptoms of a grade 1 Liz Frank injury, however you want to pronounce it. There's 2 different ways to say it. I was worried enough at that moment, right? But we love Najee. We love Najee. Najee is a beast, man. He's a reception king. He's a between the tackles monster. He's a 10 to 14 capable touchdown guy. He really is. And I don't know about you, but if you own Najee, or if you're in my shoes, you own him and you're giving advice about Najee, and you get to a point where it's like you get a little bit of a way out, if you will. The fact that he could play in week 2, the fact that let's say it's upgraded to, yes, he's going to play week 2, he's probable. I feel like there's a crafty way out of this and 100 different ways to go. Whether it's going after, I know your jaw's gonna drop in a minute, but it's all about buying low and selling high. The whole game is buy low, sell high. The whole game. Maybe Alvin Kamara. Maybe you can now go and purchase a underperforming, what's going on with Kamara, from a Kamara owner freaking out, package in all the risk you wanted to package in on draft day when you had to buy him at this extremely high value. Maybe you come in and you get Alvin Kamara and something for Najee Harris. Maybe there's something you can do. All I'm telling you is, I don't think I would wait. I think I'm hitting the panic button on Najee Harris. And the fact that you have a way out of this, I think you need to take it. And if you don't, you may regret it, because it feels like it's bad luck piling up on bad luck. You have a small window of time to maybe get rid of Najee. And I know that doesn't sound great if you own them and you're like, wait a minute, we're getting good news here. I look at this good news as an open door. That's kind of how I feel about this. And I go by a guy like Kamara. I go by, let's see, buy low. We have a buy low list. My buy low list is going to consist of a lot of Kyle Pitts. I'm just telling you up front. Alvin Kamara up front. you're going to see guys like Debo on the list coming out of that mud or that pool game, playing in a 3-inch a pool. Like, just, they're basically in the backyard playing in a big giant pool, and everybody's judging Debo, they're judging Lance, they're judging the Niners, they're judging everybody. And the Niners weren't prepared. That's on Shanahan. Shanahan's the reason the Niners looked the way they did and why the Niners lost the game the way they did. It's Shanahan. It's all Shanahan. And so I'm buying low on a bunch of guys. We'll have a buy low, sell high show. You bet your bottom dollar. That's how we roll. We got a schedule, baby. We're coming out with buy low, sell high, panic chamber. Before those two videos, the waiver wire video drops tonight or tomorrow. I don't know, guys. It's time to sell Najee off this news. At least try. And you're not going to, maybe you don't sell them this minute when that news breaks. Let people digest it and kind of think for themselves. What if I went and got Najee? Maybe I'll go trade for Najee. Let them have that moment of thinking about this for themselves. Because if you go to somebody and you make it your idea. Hey, Bob, do you want Najee Harris? He might play. That you're kind of selling him in a state of panic. Bob's still in panic. Maybe let Bob think about it. Maybe let the idea come to Bob, or Bob goes, I hear Najee's okay. Hey, Steve. This is Bob. What do you want for Najee Harris? Now he's inquiring. He's coming after him. I'd wait a little bit. I'd let the dust settle a little bit. It sounds like, unless you feel like, and there's this possibility too, that this could turn into, okay, he might play week 2. Okay, actually, now he's not going to play week 2. Maybe you do jump on it, actually. Maybe you do. It depends. It depends on what you think the owner that you're going after is going to think, how they're going to think about it, how they're going to take it. You might want to explore now and later. So scratch that. I'm going to say go ahead and try now. Never mind. Go ahead and try now. Now, change of advice on the fly. Hey, Bob, actually, come back here. Let's go ahead and maybe make a trade now. Because you never know. This thing could go in a different direction. And not, am I telling you to sell Najee low? No. So Andrew says, sell me your Najee shares, please. See, there are people out there that are willing to buy him. And it's not that Andrew's wrong. It's not that Andrew's wrong to want to go get him. It's just that there are people that are willing to pay good pricing for him. No one's asking you to go sell low. This is a sidestep into a safer vehicle. This is an alternate plan to try and avoid some risk that's clear as day sitting in front of us. Liz Frank injury, those are horrible. These are horrible injuries. Liz Frank injury, sitting there nipping away at his upside in the preseason, we had no idea. Just nipping away. He walks into week 1, already starts being bothered by the injury. Already bothered by it. Now, granted, he has his foot bent back, and that was a pretty awful situation, but if he's already bothered by something as bad as a Liz Frank injury, and the Liz Frank injury kept him out in the preseason, or kept him out a lot of camp or whatever, we don't even know the honest truth about it. I'm feeling like this is a move to make to get out of this issue. Yeah, rib issue for Kamara. His owners are going to be a little bit panicked about Kamara underperforming. And then you got the off-the-field threat, which is a true threat. And I've been saying stay away from Kamara at top of second-round value all offseason long. But if you can come in and buy him low and package in all the risk of Kamara getting yanked from the field, then maybe you come in and you grab Kamara. Now, that could backfire on you, too. You got to know the risk, because if that video leaks, he's done. So it's risk all around the board. We're not dealing with safe players here. We're dealing with a player with a Liz Frank injury, okay, that re-aggravated it, and this is horrible. I'm wanting out of my Najee shares if I can get out of them to get into a safer vehicle. Who we could try to get for Najee and Lamb? Kyle, it's a great question. And I've got some super chats here. Appreciate you guys dropping these supers. Let me get to these real quick and get these taken care of. My super chat people right here. Nigel dropping one right here. Nigel, please, appreciate you. Friendly, appreciate your comment, kind sir. You're the GOAT, pal. I'm just here to serve. Okay, Derek Lincoln in the building. Derek Lincoln, appreciate you, my man. Thank you for being here. Najee is a stud. His foot is a GOAT. Well, it looks like Atro. We could go trade him to Atro. Atro, I appreciate you being here. We're not all going to agree on all this stuff, so it's fine. If you want to hold Najee, I don't blame you. I love Najee Harris. I mean, he's one of my favorite players to draft this year. But this foot thing was not out in the open. We didn't know it was here. It is returned, this dreaded Liz Frank injury, and it is bad. It is scary. It can take a player out at any moment. And let me get these super chats on the screen and get these out of the way. A Lamb trade, a potential Lamb trade. That's a tough one. Like, what do you go trade Lamb for? ETN? You know, do you trade Lamb for another struggling player? How about a Dameon Pierce and something? You know, those are ideas. Look, I know Dameon Pierce crapped the bed in week 1. Crapped the bed for me in week 1. I love Dameon Pierce in week 1. I'm not running away from it. I love Dameon Pierce in week 1. He failed me in week 1. He failed you. He failed me. I failed you by saying that Dameon Pierce was a good play. I did not see them not using him, especially in a positive game script. But here's the thing. Like, Burkhead's going to be used, but Burkhead's not a workhorse running back. They will eventually get Dameon Pierce the football. Now, am I worried about it? Yeah, I'm worried about it enough to where I'm not sure when or how or what's going to unfold. But I do know that Dameon Pierce crapped the bed so badly that he should be pretty darn cheap to go get. So you could get a Dameon Pierce and a big-time wide receiver for a Najee Harris. Like, an example would be maybe you're going after Debo and Pierce and something for Najee. Like, you might be able to get a combination of players that can maybe, even if Pierce ended up failing, Najee and Debo very similar in value in some context if Najee's banged up. And that could be something you could explore. That's just one example of many different approaches you could take to try and get rid of Najee. Debo Samuel is going to be a very good buy low. So another player in Debo for Najee, and that other player has to be great, you know, or potentially great. ETN and Debo for Najee, that would be a fantastic trade. In fact, that would be probably one of the trades I would recommend most if I was to throw an idea out there. Where's my marker when I need it? Where's my marker when I need? Here it is. So if I take Najee and I send him. Let me write this in a place where you can see it. Najee. And I send him packing for Debo and ETN. I think that's a really good move. This guy ETN is so scary to people right now. Let me get rid of this stuff. He's so scary to people right now, ETN. He's dirt cheap. He's so on the drop, okay? And Debo, coming out of the swimming pool game, of all swimming pool games, is completely undervalued. The guy scored a touchdown. They used him a lot. And Eli Mitchell's out. They're going to use Debo quite a bit. Now, Debo's got some injury risk if they're going to be running him so much. But Debo looked like he picked up right where he left off last year. He was just running in a swimming pool. So I don't think people understand what happened. You know, I don't think people understand that this guy literally was used a ton. It just was a swimming pool game. So, yeah, I definitely go looking around at that. Okay, so let's get back to these super chats. Atro says, I'm holding Najee. I think he's fine. I'm not opposed to that. I'm not saying that you should trade him cheap. So let me make it abundantly clear. If you can't get what I'm talking about, like an ETN and a Debo, or even a little bit better wide receiver, even, and a Dameon Pierce or something, then I don't want you to trade him. I'm not asking you to trade him. I'm not telling you to trade him for low. But I mean, this is an open window to maybe get out of some risk. So it's not like I want you to go get rid of him cheap or sell them at all costs. It's only if you can do it in a way that gets you into a safer vehicle. And I think this is a pretty darn good approach for it. You get an ETN and a Debo who are both on the decline for a pretty scary situation right now, in my opinion, in Najee Harris. I'm not saying I don't like Najee at all. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying it's something that I worry about. Sell scary Terry High from Overcome. I don't know. It depends what you can sell him for. I don't know that anybody's going to be buying him high or even medium, you know, because Dotson looked really good, and I think people probably will take away from that game, hey, maybe Scary Terry's not the true wide receiver one there anymore, and I don't know that you're going to be able to sell him high. It's a good question, and if you could sell him high, I'd sell anybody high. Connor with a $10 holler. Connor, appreciate you, good buddy, good pal. Connor with a $10 holler.
$10 plus super chat.
Connor says Chiefs are clearly in a rebuilding year. Chiefs look good. Chiefs look good, and Clyde Edwards-Helaire looks good. Can we give Clyde a round of applause on his potential? I mean, it's early, but potential return to glory days. I mean, I love Clyde Edwards-Helaire and what I'm seeing. I love that they trust him. I love that this offense is so complex that everybody thinks anybody could just step in like a Ronald Jones or no. Clyde is in a good position. Dameon Pierce, goodbye, low opportunity. Absolutely, Scotty, you've already heard me speak to it a little bit. You got to buy with caution. Don't go buying him at old value, 4th, 5th, 6th. Like, he was overdrafted. And I wasn't excited about his 4th or 5th round draft value. Let me make it very abundantly clear. When he climbed into that range, it was scary. It was a scary range of value to be drafting a guy like Dameon Pierce, who had a lot of risk at that value. I didn't love it. I wasn't excited or wasn't advising people in droves to go take Dameon Pierce in the 4th and 5th round when he got there. Where we cleaned up, and I still believe it will prove to be true that we cleaned up in the 6th, 7th, 8th round territory of drafting Dameon Pierce. Look, he is still the starter. He just hasn't been fully unleashed. Week 1 is weird. Week 1 always has panic everywhere. I warned everybody walking into this week. I said, raise your right hand, vow to me that you will not panic and go crazy if a guy doesn't do well in week 1. You all agreed, and I knighted you all with my gavel, okay? And you all are now knighted week 2 non-panicking individuals. So let's take that into week 2 and not freak out, and let's understand that guys like ETN, they all still have shots at being what we thought they were going to be. Let's not freak out and write everybody off. What can I get for Eckler? I don't know that I'm trading Eckler on the low, bro. And you might, if you're selling Eckler, have to trade him on the low. I don't know that I'm into the idea of getting rid of Eckler because he's a great buy low. He's a great buy low. I don't think you're gonna get what you want. I would hold him, Scotty. I mean, you could give a couple examples to me that you are looking at, and I'll let you know what I think of him. But I'm holding Eckler versus selling him on a knee-jerk reaction. If Cooper Rush becomes the starter, I see and have a gut feeling he makes an amazing run, and I think about rushing, and they think about rushing Dak back, the new Foles. Maybe Rush ends up being better than anybody thinks, bro, but I do think this injury to Dak is devastating for CeeDee Lamb. Do I think CeeDee Lamb could still be a potential... Do I think CeeDee Lamb could be a potential low end wide receiver 1? I do. He's still playing. CeeDee Lamb's not the one injured. I think we get so quick to judge like a player like Lamb when something happens to like his quarterback that we pretend Lamb's out. Lamb's not out. You know, Lamb's not out. You can still buy low on Lamb. I'm interested in buying low on Lamb. Mark Cleveland is in the building, I think. And Mark Cleveland, I say go get him. Everybody out here, go get him. John, go get him. Daniel, go get him. Kurt, go get him. I mean, at a low price. At a low price. Not saying go buy him at the old value. I'm saying go poke around. This here right here, don't usually trade after week 1, but got offered Kamara or Aaron Jones for Najee. I'd take Kamara and something for Najee right now. Now, this is taking on another boatload of risk that's differently packaged in, right? You've got this off-the-field situation. Now, Alvin Kamara was a fine third-round pick. Walking into this new updated information, his trials postponed, or the hearing was postponed. We don't know what to make of it. The full video hasn't been leaked yet. Probably has a strong shot at being leaked. We don't know when, though. Will it be right after the season ends? Will it be right in the middle? We don't know. And if the video leaks and it is as bad as it's claimed to be, and I believe it is based on people I've talked to that I trust, that have talked to people that have seen it, so there's a lot of degrees of separation there, admittedly. So the source of the source of the source, I mean, understand that there's risk involved in that passing on of information. But it's worth the risk if you're getting Kamara and something. and like a Dameon Pierce, Kamara and an ETN, Kamara and a wide receiver, Kamara and a Kyle Pitts upgrade. Maybe you send a tight end back to that individual. They got Kyle Pitts. You get Kamara and Pitts. You send Najee and a lesser tight end over. Like, there's creative ways to do it. I don't know that I want to do it Kamara straight up, but you could do Kamara straight up if you're panicked and worried and your gut tells you that Najee is only going to get worse. I would try and get more. Also, you have Deontay in your starting lineup, wide receiver 3. I'd try and upgrade Deontay a little bit in this package. Make it a 2 for 2. That would be my advice. Nigel says, thoughts on Taysom Hill as your tight end? Absolutely fine. I like him over Irv Smith. Look, somebody came in here the other day and said, Smitty, put some respect on Taysom Hill, or they said it in the comments. I'm like, bro, I've talked about Taysom Hill a ton. What are you talking about? Taysom Hill is one of the best ball strategies you could have possibly deployed in best ball drafts, in these best ball manias and the puppy drafts. Taking Taysom Hill, because in best ball, especially on Underdog, promo code Smitty, if your fantasy season feels like it's going to crap and you want some new lineups and you want to redraft every single weekend, go to Underdog Fantasy. The link is in the description, and I'm going to drop the link in the live chat right now and pin it right now. But if you want to draft every single week and get a little bit of a reset, go to Underdog Fantasy, promo code Smitty. They'll match up to $100 in your first deposit. You put in 50, they'll give you 50. You put in 10, they'll give you 10. And you can do a fantasy contest. But make no mistake about it. Like, you need to have this in your life, because if you don't, what happens if injury strikes? What are you going to do then? This gives you a way to enjoy football on the weekly, you know? So, let's see here. I'm trying to pin this on the live chat. I'll pin that in a second. But Taysom Hill is a fantastic play, especially in best ball, because they're not going to take away his tight end eligibility. So if you got him in best ball, it is what it is. He is a tight end. So I pinned that link in the live chat. Go play Underdog Fantasy. They'll match up to $100 on your first deposit. But Taysom Hill is one of the best ball tight end strategies we deployed over and over and over in these best ball drafts. So fantastic move, and I like him a lot. This super chat, is Jeff Wilson the guy to pick up? We don't know. Honestly, talent-wise, no. Jeff Wilson, even if Jeff Wilson goes out there in week 2, because we have the Eli Mitchell news. Eli Mitchell is expected to be sidelined for 2 months. This news, I talked about it last night. I told you last night. I said he's out at least 4 to 8 weeks. Because when you hit, this is your MCL. This is your right leg. This is the inside of your leg. So this knee is going to press up against your other knee. So here are your 2 knees. The inside part of your knee, you have your MCL. He got hit on the outside, which then takes this and starts stretching. See this MCL? The MCL is stretching as I do this. It's stretching. I'm very shocked he doesn't have... I'd be shocked if it wasn't later revealed he had a little bit of a meniscus cleanup as well. Because when you pull on that, you can see me pinching the adjacent meniscus right here. So you get hit with the helmet here. It bends the knee. I told you last night that this guy was out for at least 4 to 8 weeks off that hit. That one photo alone that I saw showed that stretching of that MCL when he got hit in the helmet. And I would not be surprised if the adjacent meniscus right in this corner right here, see it being pinched, didn't tear as well. And we hear something about a cleanup on that. Expected to be out 4 to 8 weeks, because that MCL is extremely painful. That is the most painful part. When I tore my knee up, I tore everything. I did exactly the same thing. Came into the side, went like that. I snapped my ACL. He's lucky he didn't snap his ACL, because that ACL is designed to be extremely tight in that joint. And when you go like this or like this, that's how you typically tear it in the NFL. You either cut really hard, non-contact, and you snap the ACL like that, and you pinch a meniscus somewhere. You maybe pull on the MCL. The MCL was the most painful part. I tore my ACL well over a decade ago. It's still painful when it gets cold. My MCL still gets painful when it gets cold. The MCL is the most painful part of that entire injury when you tear your knee up completely. Very, 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 very painful injury. And so Eli Mitchell easily out 4 to 8 weeks. If they rush him back, he's going to get hurt. So expect him to be out 4 weeks. To my point, to the question, who's the backup? Is it Zach Wilson? Is it Jeff Wilson? the running back, the current slated running back 2 by default, the de facto running back 2 in San Francisco. That's not the guy I want. And even if he's starting week number 2, I don't know if I'm preemptive about it and say, you know what, I'm going after this guy, Jordan Mason, who's the 2022 version of Eli Mitchell, in my opinion. Him or TDP, Ty Davis Price. These are probably the better options if you have to preemptively go in and try and grab the wrong running back off of waivers to let somebody like Bob say, but Smitty, I'm hearing Jeff Wilson's the backup. I don't trust Jeff Wilson. I don't think Jeff Wilson's effective at all. He looked like garbage on the field, and he's proven nothing. He's proven no ability to stay healthy. If it's me, I'm preemptive about it, and I go after the other 2 guys. And what did I tell you in the offseason? TDP and Jordan Mason, just like the Sermon and Mitchell cuff, which one of them is not going to work, right? That's why Sermon ended up busting, Mitchell ended up hitting. But my prediction was the combined cuff. So it ended up winning leagues. Mitchell and Sermon cuffed together would win leagues in 2022. It most certainly did. 2021, it most certainly did. Eli Mitchell was an absolute smash. I've been saying all offseason, the craftiest cuff at the end of your bench, if you're in a bigger league or at least a medium-sized league, is to draft TDP and Jordan Mason. You've heard me say it all offseason long. I think that duo is going to help win leagues. And I don't know which one is going to be the guy, TDP, Jordan Mason. Right now, it's going to look like Wilson. I don't think it's going to be. Even if it was for week 2, he's not going to be effective or stay healthy. It's possible, but I preemptively like the other 2 running backs better. So that's horrible news there for the Niners. But I think Jordan Mason and TDP are so good that it won't end up being the end of the world. This is from Forklift Guy.
$10 plus super chat.
Appreciate you, good buddy. Keep the super checks coming. I'm going to be piling them on screen here. I need advice. I have Burrow. Don't worry about Burrow. That's my first piece of advice. You have DeAndre Swift, Javonte Williams, Pittman, Kyle Pitts, DJ Moore, Hollywood Brown, Edmund Stevenson. I like your team a lot. Your team is really good. I want to upgrade my wide receiver too. You're the GOAT. No, you're the GOAT, Forklift Guy. And you've got a baller team. Burrow's going to be fantastic. Don't worry about him. He looked really good in the fourth quarter. I mean, he did all that scoring. He had negative 4 points for me at one point for majority of the game. And in the fourth quarter, almost alone, he finished with 28 points and 19 points in 2 different leagues, 2 different, very different scorings. But I looked at one league, I'm like 28 points. The other league, I looked 19 points. The guy didn't do anything until the very end, but he commanded that comeback. They ended up losing it because of kicking, but Burrow put his heart and soul on the line. That Pittsburgh Steelers defense, which no one else is going to face this season because it's now different without Watt. That defense looks so much different than people expected. And Burrow had his hands full all game. Tip pass, it wasn't all his fault. When he had 2 INTs, he was 7 for 10. And I had people coming at me saying, Joe Burrow looks awful. Really? He's 7 for 10. I know he had the 2 INTs, but one of them wasn't necessarily his fault. And he was 7 out of 10 when that happened, and he was 2 INTs in. I'm just saying, people need to look at the full context here. I'm not worried about it. This is one of those situations. I'm telling you I'm worried about Pierce. I'm telling you I'm a little bit worried about ETN because of the offense, really. But I'm not worried about Joe Burrow. I'm buying low on Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow's fine. Jamar Chase dropped 2 touchdowns. I don't think people realize that Jamar Chase should have had about 150 and 3 TDs. He had such a big game on his hands. One of those actually didn't drop one of them. He didn't get his feet in all the way. And it's like, that could have been a very different game. Woulda, shoulda, coulda. I'm not saying to play that game. For you, I like your team a lot. Javonte, DeAndre Swift, Pittman, Kyle Pitts. Don't sell Kyle Pitts. DJ Moore, I could maybe see you trading Edmonds and DJ Moore and going and getting a very undervalued wide receiver. You could trade Hollywood. He scored a touchdown in Edmonds and get an undervalued wide receiver. There are a plethora of undervalued wide receivers out there. Let me pull up my rankings at thefantasyfootballshow.com, which I urge all of you to get over and get thefantasyfootballshow.com. Rankings, bold predictions, year-round, everything. Let's see. Rankings, I'm going to say undervalued wide receivers, probably the best ones to target right now. T. Higgins is a great wide receiver to target. Maybe you trade that for T. Higgins. Maybe you trade up Edmonds and Hollywood for T. Higgins coming off the concussion. That would be, pair him up with Burrow, stack that. DK Metcalf is about to have, I think, a pretty decent day today, and that might make him a little bit unattainable. Or maybe he has a bad game and you could go after him. Tyreek Hill didn't exactly explode. I don't think you're going to get Tyreek Hill for that package, but go ahead and look. A.J. Brown to the moon. No way A.J. Brown's being had. Debo's low, but I don't think you could get him with that exact package, but you know what I'm saying. Go after Debo in creative ways if you can. Go after T. Higgins in that package. Go after maybe I like Mike Williams a little. Mike Williams is such a disappointment. Keenan Allen goes down, and you think, now's the time. Mike Williams, hit the turbo boost button. Punch the NOS, bro. Let's go. Doesn't do anything. Like, I'm not saying give him up with the package we're talking about, but I do like Mike Williams a little bit on the buy low, but just a little bit. Like, we're talking like, I don't know. I don't even know what I'd send out for him. But Dotson, like, I don't know. Dotson for, I know, Sam, I'm trying to get all the super chats at once. They all come in at once. I'm flowing through it, Sammy. I'm flowing through it. I got you. Dotson's like, you either believe in him or you don't. Maybe you just roll Dotson out there, or do you trade Dotson for somebody? Or do you just stay away from every? I got it, Vamp. I got the super chats. I know they're there. I'm going for it. Don't worry, Val. I got you. Okay, so next one is from Terry. I'll just throw them all on screen here so you guys don't feel like I'm not going to get to them. So hang tight. Let me just throw them all on screen here. Vamp, I see yours. I got yours, buddy boy. It's right here. You ain't going anywhere. I got you safe and snug, safe and sound right there. Jake, you're right there. Don't worry, Jakey. Sammy, I got you right here, Sammy boy. You're all taken care of. Nestled away, all snug right there, buddy boy. Trone, I got you right here, pal. Don't you worry about it. Who else we got? Going for these super chats. We got James Robinson, super chat by Overcome. Real quickly before I close this one out. Look, James Robinson looked good. Cam Akers looked awful. James Robinson looked good. He also only had 11 carries, and he was super efficient with those. So let's pump the brakes a little bit on this. Like, is James Robinson a high-end running back too going forward? He looked good. He actually looked explosive. And we've never seen anybody look as well as he looked coming off. Now, some of it is there's been talk about him having a partial Achilles tendon, and maybe that's why he has some of the explosion that like Cam doesn't, as an example. But there's still some concern whether he would hold up all year, because coming back is brutal on that Achilles. So I'm not trying to like say, oh, I'm digging my heels in on this one and he's going to get hurt. You watch. But I'm very apprehensive about believing what you saw in week 1 will be something you will see on the regular. We need this player in ETN's life. I just want to continue to emphasize that point. ETN needs to have a between the tackles runner to keep ETN uncontained and all over the field. ETN would have had 2 touchdowns on top of his 10 yards per carry. He had 4 carries for, I think it was like 47 yards. He's averaging 10 yards a carry, and he dropped essentially 2 touchdown passes. Now, that's on him. He's one of the best pass-catching backs to come out of college in a long time, and he's dropping footballs. He's a little rusty, a little nervous. I'm gonna write it off as that. I don't believe he's lost his hands. He's a very good receiving back. So I'm not concerned. I'm buying low. But this isn't to say James Robinson, like I've said all along, it's irrelevant. They don't relate. Like, you need James Robinson for ETN to be effective. ETN is going to be that Alvin Kamara, or that Eckler and Melvin Gordon back when Melvin Gordon and Eckler were a 1-2 punch. That is what we have here, and it's okay if James Robinson exists. And he looked good, and I admit, he looked really good. I'm excited for him. I'm rooting for him. I don't root against players. I don't want players to be injured. And the fact that he's looking this good in week 1 is pretty impressive. But do I race out and drop my entire fab on him? It depends on my situation. I really do worry that he'll be able to do it all year long. We'll see. But do I think he should be picked up if he's available? Sure. He shouldn't have probably been available. Most leagues he was on roster, so he wasn't even on the waiver wire list because he's attained by so many leagues out there. He's not a normal guy that's sitting on waivers right now, so he's not even on the waiver wire list. We might mention him to make sure we do our due diligence, but he's not a guy that's like just sitting out there in a majority of leagues on waivers. So that's why you don't hear me talk about him on the waiver wire. I think I got the super chat here. I'm going to put it here just in case. And I think we're caught up on dragging them over. Trone. Maybe I missed some up here. Hold on. Vamp, I got yours. Thank you, Vamp. Sam, I got yours. Trone, I got yours. I've got this super chat from Overcome. Joseph, I got yours on screen. Brandon, I've got yours on screen here. Don't worry, buddy boy. John, I got yours on screen. And Jake, we got you taken care of, Jake. Forklift guy, appreciate your last super chat. If I missed anybody above Forklift guy, please let me know and I'll drag them on screen. Ozzy, I got your super chat on screen here. Okay, Trone, I got offered Diggs and Mitchell for MT and Waller. That's tough. Kittle instead of Mitchell. I counter with Kittle instead of Mitchell. I definitely would give. I don't know. That's a tough one. MT's a tough one. Can I get a vote on this one? What do you guys think? Diggs and Mitchell, who's out for 4 to 8 weeks, or MT and Waller? Obviously, if you lost Kittle, or no, you countered for the injured Kittle. Okay. What side do you like better? Should you trade Najee for ETN? No, I would not trade Najee for ETN. Najee's potentially ready for week 2, bro. Yeah, we're getting a bunch of no's, bro. We're getting a bunch of negatives on this one. Diggs and Mitchell. A lot of people like... I'm getting a no. Hell to the no. But you guys, make sure you're saying which side, because I think some of you have mixed up as to which side. We got a lot of Diggs. We've got a couple MT and Wallers. So can I get an actual vote on this? Diggs, too good. Take the Diggs. He's being offered, though. You guys are reading it wrong. Got offered Diggs and Mitchell. So you're basically wanting to say yes, right? Because you're getting a lot of no's, but I think you're on the other side. I think you want to take the Diggs side, is what everybody's saying. Diggs. He's being offered Diggs. Or he's wording it wrong in the thing. Should I counter for injured Kittle? So Kittle or Mitchell is what you'd be getting back. I'd probably rather have Kittle. Yeah. Give me Diggs and Kittle versus Diggs and Mitchell. But I would take the Diggs side. Go get Diggy. Go get Diggy, boy. All right. Thank you for the vote on that. Let's see here. Prioritize on waivers for upside. Flyer, pick 3. Pacheco, Mark Ingram, P. Ryan, Breda, McKinnon, Damian Williams, Jordan Mason, TDP. I would say Pacheco, clear as day, the top pickup. Even though Clyde's looking great, the fact that Clyde's looking great tells me that, boom, you've got an amazing situation for whichever running back's in there this year. They're lacking Tyreek Hill. They gave 2 touchdowns to the running back, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. So clearly, Clyde or the running back, whoever it is going to be taking that void. Yeah, I sell high on MT too. I take that Diggs side. I like the Diggs side. Take Diggs. Josh Allen throws even when he is in the lead. That's right. Diggs and Kittle. But I do like the Kittle and Diggs side way more than I like the Eli Mitchell and Diggs side. So try and push for that. Mason and TDP are the next up for me. I'm not going after P. Ryan. I'm not going after Breda. I'm not going after McKinnon. I'm not going after Damian. So that's an easy one. Easy priority there. Appreciate you for your super chat, Ozzy. You're the man, Ozzy. Jake says, is Jeff Wilson the guy? Again, we addressed that already. I probably is on paper and out the gate, but I'd rather be preemptive and have both Jordan Mason, and TDP over Jeff Wilson. Jeff Wilson could start week 2, but I don't like him. I don't think he's going to be effective. I'd rather have the other 2 running backs, and I think that they end up picking up the slack. 450 of you in here. Please punch a thumb up. Only 119 thumbs up. It helps the channel. Appreciate you guys watching. Trying to finesse the trade for Carter and Sanders full PPR. Trying to finesse a trade for Carter and Sanders full PPR. Am I crazy for reaching for Swift? Using Carter and Sanders? Yeah. John, you're not getting DeAndre Swift for Carter's. Is that what you're saying? Carter and Sanders? There's no way. There's no way. You're gonna end a friendship if you ask somebody to give you DeAndre Swift for your Carter and Sanders. Like, someone will literally stop calling you. They'll say, get rid of my number and never call me again. Or text me or Snapchat me. Ever again. Other running backs are Lenny, A.J. Dillon, ETN. You got to get rid of Lenny and Sanders and Carter to even have a conversation, and the guy's going to still tell you to get lost if you ask for DeAndre Swift. For Lenny, even if you gave him Carter, Sanders, and Lenny, even if you offered him Lenny and Dillon, Carter, and Sanders, I bet you he still says no. I bet you he still says, lose my number, pal. We used to be friends. I thought you were my friend. I don't think he's going to take that. But other running backs are Uncle Lenny. Yeah. I don't think you can get Swift. You could try. You could try offering him Lenny and Dillon and see what he says, but who's going to give up DeAndre Swift right now? I'm not giving up DeAndre Swift. DeAndre Swift is a top 1 to 5 running back. We talked about it all offseason long. There's a reason he's on this list right here.
On a shuttle to Mars.
Now,
Mars men.
CeeDee Lamb is a sad, sad day because now CeeDee Lamb
dropping and spinning aimlessly in space
is right over here watching from afar. There's just no way. There's just no way CeeDee Lamb can be on a shuttle to Mars any longer for now. And it's unfortunate Lamb's season is off for the current moment. But we're going to take him off and we're going to move him because, unfortunately, Lamb is not going to Mars right now. He's just not. We're recalling Lamb's ticket to Mars. It's not his fault, but he's not going to Mars. But Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, DeAndre Swift, Javonte Williams, and Breece Hall still going to get there. Keep the faith. Herbert's guiding this shuttle and flying it. Good luck, John. John, bring me another question though. But you're certainly I think not going to get. You're not going to get him, bro. You're not going to get him. Appreciate you all in here. Double A says, I watch at work. He's new to the channel. Mushi and I watch from work. Okay. Where's Mushi at? Mushi, I appreciate you being here, pal. Can we give Mushi a moonshot?
To the moon.
And Double A. Appreciate you guys both. Thank you for super chatting there, buddy boy. Do you like Adam Thielen as a PPR wide receiver 3? I suppose I do. A 3-4. I'll put that in there. 3-4. Would I sell him? Sure. Would I buy him? Sure. Am I a little indifferent? Sure. But Adam Thielen, what did Adam Thielen finish with as a stat line? Let's look it up. Adam Thielen finished with 3 catches for 36 yards. So he's going to be a good, nothing to cry home about. He's going to be a good buy low. I wasn't even sure if it was like a 30 or 40 or 50 yard game off the top of my head. That's how forgettable his week 1 performance was. So definitely a good buy low for some people. What do you do? I put up 67 points so far. Burrow, Najee, ETN, Dameon Pierce, Lamb, DK, Knox, bench, Walker, Farmer. What do you do? You could try doing what I told you to do with the Najee situation. Get Kamara and something as soon as Najee looks like he's back. I don't even know if you'll be able to pull that off. ETN and Pierce are untradeable. Lamb, I don't think you can trade Lamb right now either. DK, you're kind of stuck waiting, Joseph. And for people that feel like, oh God, I don't know what I'm going to do. My season's already going downhill. And you can't control some of these things like Najee's injury. You already drafted before that news probably broke, bro. And you couldn't have predicted that Dak was going to go down. So that's where this underdog fantasy comes into play. Not saying to pack it in, but you should protect your fantasy season by getting this, getting on underdog, using promo code Smitty. You get up to a $100 match. And just make sure you've got something else going on in case things go badly. But like right here, I don't see anything you could even do because except for trade Najee. Don't trade Burrow, he's on the low. Don't trade ETN, he's on the low. Don't trade Pierce. You need rebounds from these guys. Don't get crazy and give up, sell low and then regret it if Pierce comes around or ETN comes around. You need them to come around. Don't give up. Your team's still got talent, but you don't really have many moves other than Najee for like a Kamara, Najee for a Debo and an ETN. ETN like you already got ETN, but you already got Pierce too. But Debo and somebody for Najee, make sure that somebody is a good running back, a good upside running back. You might be in the clear. Also, make sure you're on top of, make sure you're totally on top of getting those San Francisco backs if you can. From Michael O'Connor, clearly you were wrong about buying the Chiefs on the cheap. I need you to admit that now. Buying the Chiefs on the cheap. I was wrong about buying the Chiefs on the cheap. What do you mean? What are you talking about? I'll admit it, but I don't know what you're saying. Buying the Chiefs on the cheap. What was I wrong about on that? I'm not following, but I appreciate your super chat. Offer Najee to Javonte owner before the game and chance to looking like a panicked owner or possibly low if Javonte doesn't have a great game. I'd rather Javonte over Najee, but you're asking what's the best plan of attack. I think the Javonte owner is going to want to see him play. They drafted him for a reason. I don't think going to him with an injured Najee that's maybe going to be okay for week 2 is going to get it done. I think your better chances if Najee does badly or shares carries too much in this game and only has 80 yards and that's it, that you could then go and get Javonte pretty easily. I think if you ask now, you're gonna pique their interest in knowing that you want Javonte, and they might hold him over your head. You're not going to get him before the game anyways. Because right now, Najee's up here to that player, to that owner. And so you got to let Najee, hopefully he doesn't. I'm sorry, Sam, but I want Najee to blow up. But if he doesn't blow up, then that's your opening, not beforehand. So you got to wait. Your play is to wait. I have Lamar, AK, Swift, Higgins, Moore, Waller, Bateman, Julio, Edmonds, Sanders. Should I be worried about AK? AK, Swift, Higgins, Moore, Waller, Bateman, Julio, Edmonds, Sanders. I think you got a good team. I would try and potentially trade AK if you could upgrade him, but I don't know that anybody's buying, bro. He came off a very, very disappointing week 1 for the most part. He's got the rib issue. He's got the off the field concern. I don't think anybody's buying him. Would I try and get a Debo and an ETN? Because both of those guys are low too. Maybe you could do that. Maybe you could sell AK to the Debo owner and get Debo and an ETN or type of player like that. So your best bet if you do want to get out of Najee or get out of AK is to trade Alvin Kamara for Debo and something. Go after a Kyle Pitts and another big player. I'm not just Kyle Pitts, but Kyle Pitts is a good buy low. Kamara is a good buy low. Burrow's a good buy low. Pierce and ETN are good buy lows. Mooney's a pretty good buy low. Tyreek Hill's a good buy low. And so on. So those are just a handful. I love Higgins as a buy low right now. Those are a handful of opportunities that I think you could exploit. Lost Mitchell. Should I pick up Rashad White, Pacheco, or Ty Davis Price? Also, what should I trade Waddle for? Waddle could be, maybe you could trade some Waddle and something for Debo. Maybe because Waddle scored, Debo scored, but Debo was concerning to his owners because he's playing in a pool of water. And people thought, okay, he scored, but he didn't look great. The Niners are worrying me. I think Debo's a good go-get using Waddle, and you might have to give up just a little bit more. Kyle Pitts, you could go after using Waddle. So trade Waddle for Kyle Pitts. You might even get more. You might not. Kyle Pitts is a great buy low. Ty Davis Price and Mason I like a lot, but I like Pacheco more because of the offense and I think how good that running back's going to look. I liked Clyde a lot, so I don't know what that other comment about the Chiefs was about. Are there concerns about Kelsey getting hurt? If that's what you meant for me to say, I'm not going to tell you I'm wrong on something that we're 1 week into it, bro. We're 1 week into it. I appreciate you. I also say 100,000 things, so I'm going to be wrong on some stuff. But there are going to be people in here that want me to come out here and say, I'm so sorry for being wrong on Dameon Pierce. I'm so sorry for being wrong on this player. What about being right on Swift? What about being right on A-Rob or being right on Akers? Like, we can't play this game the whole show. Like, I'm going to be right and wrong. It's all, what the important part is we adjust and adapt and we move forward and figure out what we got to do and how we can best build our teams moving forward, adjusting and adapting. Clyde Edwards-Helaire looks fantastic. And I liked him a lot. We all liked him a little bit, or not all of us. There's a lot of doubt about him. But it's nice to see that this offense is going to replace a lot of the Tyreek Hill production with Clyde Edwards-Helaire catching the football production. and so I'm really liking what I see out of this KC offense right now. And Mahomes doesn't look like he's missed a beat. And Clyde Edwards-Helaire is filling a void very nicely. Very nicely. Do I think that Pacheco is a threat to Clyde while healthy? No. But if Clyde goes down, then Pacheco's coming in and Pacheco's going to ball. So that's your league winner right there. Ty Davis-Price, the reason I don't have Ty Davis-Price and Jordan Mason, even if you could cuff them together over Pacheco, is because we're still not sure if Wilson's going to be in the picture. What happens if Mitchell comes back 6 weeks from now? It's just a little bit more uncertainty. But I would have Ty Davis-Price and Jordan Mason cuffed together as the potential maybe league winner of the season, but behind Pacheco. Pacheco's also league winning potential. So I like Pacheco more. And, if you got to swap him out for Rachaad White for now, I understand that, and that makes sense. Buy low on Pitts, or is he now an O-lineman? I buy low on Pitts. It's week one. Again, I know everybody says they're not going to freak out. I know everybody pretends they're not going to freak out. We all vowed together when I knighted you as a non-freak out week 2 owner heading into week 2. We made an agreement. You would not freak out and get panicked. And everybody is. Everybody's like, yeah, I won't do that, but I'm panicked about so-and-so. I'm panicked about so-and-so. Look, it's human nature to get freaked out when week 1 doesn't go your way. There are players that actually bust for 4, 5, 6 weeks straight. So get ready. Kyle Pitts could have 4 straight bad weeks in a row and be he could finish as the number 2 tight end in fantasy football because he explodes in weeks 5 on. So it's going to happen. There's going to be a couple of players that busted in week 1 are also going to bust in week 2. And have repeats, and people are going to jump ship. And guess what? Week 2 is even better than week 1 for buying low and selling high. And guess what? Week 3 is probably even better than week 2 and week 1. And usually it dips into week 4, sometimes week 5, sometimes week 6, and then it starts to level out. But usually it's 1, 2, 3, maybe 4, 5, where we have buy low season in full effect on multiple players that continue to slump. ETN could be one of them. Breece Hall not showing up till week 5. We knew that was a possibility. And can I tell you how many people are now messaging me, asking me if they should cut Breece Hall? I can't believe what I'm hearing or what I'm reading. Okay, we knew this. We knew the assignment. We understood the assignment. Breece Hall is not the starter right now. He's not getting his opportunities right now. The Dameon Pierce is a whole nother situation. He is supposed to get his and he didn't. And that's disappointing. It's concerning. Am I buying low? Yeah. Am I worried a little bit? Yeah. Do I think he's a lock? No. Did I want anybody drafting him in the 4th or 5th round? No. You didn't hear me say draft him in the 4th round. He was late 5th, acceptable. He was a steal in 6, 7, 8, 9. Now, is he a steal right now in that value? No, he's not looking like a steal yet. But it's 1 week, and they still love him. Nothing's changed. They didn't unlove him in 1 week. They didn't use him right. They didn't need to. The game script didn't call for it. And whatever. He's a young guy. They're still getting used to using him. So I don't freak out, overcome. Long-winded answer. I'm buying Kyle Pitts. I'm certainly not selling him low. But I appreciate your question, by the way. Overcome, the man, the myth, the legend. Appreciate my man, Overcome. Thank you, Ozzy, for your super chat. I'm looking for the other super chats here. This one is from Tabron. Tabron, appreciate you, buddy. The voicemail, guys, drop your voice messages as well. Christian with a $2 hauler, and I'll look for your question on top of that, Christian. I don't see it yet. Always try and post it really close by so I can find it. But I don't see your question. But thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you. Jake, thank you for the super chat. Overcome with another super chat. And Michael with another super chat. Matthew, appreciate your super chat. Good buddy, good pal. I got it right here. Rock Out with a super chat. I'm going to answer Rock Out's right here. Trey McLaurin for Mike Williams. Ricky. Smooth Criminal, thank you for the super chat. I'm going to say keep McLaurin. I like Mike Williams, but he's so disappointing prone that I'm going to keep McLaurin. I'm not freaking out about McLaurin. McLaurin is fine. I think it's a mistake to freak out and get rid of McLaurin on the cheap. I mean, Mike Williams is a good player to go get, but I just don't know about that particular trade. So thank you, Rockout, for posting that one. Thank you, Ricky. Hey, pal, looking to put a package together for Kamara using a combo of Waller, Chubb, Hunt, Singletary, AJ Dillon. Thoughts? Hunt would be a great sell high. I'm not saying I don't like him. I'm not saying I don't expect him to continue to do well. He seems to do best when Chubb's in there. So I know when we think, okay, if something happens to Chubb, maybe Hunt will go nuts. It seems to be the opposite. He seems to get fully fed, you know. So I think Hunt's a good sell high. Would I sell Hunt and AJ Dillon together for Kamara? I might. I don't think that's crazy. I think you could argue that you don't want to trade AJ Dillon, that AJ Dillon could eat, that Aaron Jones, what if Aaron Jones gets hurt? Trying to use him in different ways. So definitely feel like you know, that would be where I would take that one if I could. Terry, I don't know if I've got your super chat already in the queue, bro. In front of yours was next. Okay, I didn't mean to. I never mean to. Terry, hang tight. Let me go up to the top and find it. Terry, you could have dropped it at the beginning of the show. Let me see. Nigel, appreciate you, Nigel. Matthew, appreciate you, Matthew. Nigel. Scotty Dew says, what can I get for Eckler? Already got to that one. Kyle, who could you try and get Najee for? I got that one. Scotty. Pierce is a buy low. Yes, Scotty, he is. Chiefs are clearly rebuilding year, says Michael. I don't know what that's about. Top Gun, Najee or Lance for Burrow. I don't think I got to this one, Top Gun. Let me put that over here. Kent says, Bob asked for Pittman and Sanders for Najee. Bob asked for Pittman and Sanders for Najee. I would take Najee over Pittman and Sanders. I like Pittman a lot, but I would take that. Forklift guy, appreciate you. Jake, is Jeff Wilson the guy? I got that one question. John. Joseph. I don't know where your super chat is, buddy. Jake. Is this it? Was that it, Jake? Was Jake the guy? Terry, no, it's Terry. Terry, can you paste the question again real quick and put like some flexing emojis or something that I can identify it? I have Lamar, AK, Swift, Higgins, Moore, Waller, Bateman, Julio, Edmonds, Sanders. Should I be worried about AK moves to make? I think I got that one already taken care of. Yeah, AK's a good buy low just because he's got the rib injury and people are freaking out. It's just a good move to maybe go after. Buying low and selling high is fluid. It's ever changing. You can want one guy one moment and another guy another moment. Would it be stupid to drop Ramondre for Darrell Henderson? I don't think it'd be. It could go either way. Say some prayers for me. I drafted Keenan Allen over Pittman. Yeah, Keenan Allen getting hurt. You couldn't have seen that. I mean, he was injury prone, but you couldn't have necessarily seen that coming. And that wasn't a crazy dumb move to make, bro. They were very, very close. You can't be mad at yourself for that one. Top Gun says Najee and Lance for Burrow. I'd rather have. I mean, look, if it's a 1 QB league, you can't do that. You can't trade Najee Harris for a quarterback. Trey Lance will be fine to an extent, you know. And he was playing in a pool of water. Like, everyone judging Lance so early is crazy to me. Everybody judging Debo. He scored a touchdown. Everybody judging everybody in that game. It's crazy. It's craziness to me. No, unless it's a super flex league or something. And even then, you're giving up Lance, so I don't think I would do it. Here's Terry's question. Terry, thank you. I'm sorry I couldn't find that, but I appreciate your super chat. Hopefully that doesn't deter you away from doing it in the future. My bad on that. Aaron Jones. So Kupp and Aaron Jones for Henry and Hill. Kupp and Aaron Jones for Henry and Hill. I'd rather have Cooper Kupp and Aaron Jones over Henry and Hill. But that doesn't mean I don't shop Aaron Jones for something else. You know, maybe you go get a Kamara. Maybe you go get something else. Maybe you go get a Debo and a Dameon Pierce for Aaron Jones. I'm just throwing stuff out there. But I definitely want the Kupp side of this trade. I mean, am I wrong on that? Does anybody feel like I'd rather have Henry and Hill over Kupp and Aaron Jones? Can we get a group think on this one for Terry, since Terry had to wait for his super chat? Let's see what you guys think. Henry and Hill or Aaron Jones and Cooper Kupp? Please vote in the chat for Terry. $5 super chat from Riviera. Henderson, Michael Carter, Bateman, Debo, DJ Moore, Jeff Wilson, James Cook, Woods. Thoughts? Henderson, Michael Carter, Bateman, Curtis Samuel, DJ Moore. DJ Moore is available on waivers? Is that what you're trying to say here? My running back depth is Dalvin, Etienne, Breece Hall, Pollard. If these guys are available on waivers, I'm picking up DJ Moore in a heartbeat. Michael Carter's an interesting grab, but I like Bateman over Carter. If I've got to pick two of these, I'm picking a DJ Moore and Bateman to pick up. But, I might maybe find a way to pick up Carter as well. Henry and Hill, Kupp and Jones. Henry and Hill, Kupp and Jones, Henry and Hill, Kupp and Jones all day. Henry and Hill. You don't trade Cooper Kupp. Keep Kupp. Yeah. Avi, your dono's right on screen, pal. I'm trying to get to it. There's a lot going on. My buddy boy. I've got you next. Don't worry. That's a tough one. Everyone's voting different. Henry and Hill, Cooper Kupp. I would do what I suggested. Keep Kupp, but try and trade Aaron Jones and get the best of both worlds. You're keeping Kupp and you're still getting rid of Aaron Jones on the high. Harris or Fournette. Honestly, right now, I don't want to say it's crazy to even consider Fournette over Harris if Harris is injured, but I probably would rather have Najee Harris. But I'm just letting you know that, Fournette looked good, but I still worry about him getting hurt. That doesn't change. He's gonna look good. He's a talented individual, But do I sell Fournette high? Absolutely. Doesn't mean he can't continue to do it for 8 weeks. He could. Fournette could do well coming out of week 1 because Fournette did big. Doesn't mean that I changed my thinking of I want to get rid of him on the high. Devontae Adams still the best wide receiver in the league, says Nash. He looked fantastic. Need 12 points from Brandon tonight. Wish me luck. Avi, appreciate you, buddy boy. Thank you for dropping the super chat. And I'm sorry you didn't get it answered until now or acknowledged until now. I'm trying my best, pal. Let's see Jimmy G in Dallas, says G Money. I don't know about that, but hey, it's possible. Look, Dallas might be freaking out a little bit. They may do something unorthodox to make sure that they win. Jerry Jones will do anything to win, to an extent. Like he wants to win badly. I could see him doing something like this. And Jimmy G's easier to trade for now. So, hey, man, anything's possible. Hey, Smitty, would you trade Dillon for Pitts and Edmonds? I would take Pitts and Edmonds, and then I would try and trade Edmonds in something for a better player and end up with more. But Dillon's tough to trade. Dillon had, what was Dillon's final stat line? A.J. Dillon ended up finishing the game with 45 yards, 1 TD, 5 receptions for 46 yards. If you told me I can't trade Edmonds and I wouldn't be able to make that work, I would say I would rather have A.J. Dillon. But if I'm getting creative and I'm thinking it's like chess, I'm trying to play 2 steps ahead. I feel like Edmonds is tradable right now. I feel like Kyle Pitts is a great buy low. And if I could get into an ETN and Pitts for Dillon ultimately, because I could trade Edmonds for ETN, then I would rather have ETN and Pitts over just Dillon. So there's 2 layers to that. Lee, if you don't think you can make a second trade, you are not crazy to keep A.J. Dillon because A.J. Dillon is just that good. He's probably the better running back to own of the 2. If we were drafting again today, I can assure you Aaron Jones wouldn't be a second-round pick. And he didn't feel like it. I didn't like him in the second round. I made it pretty clear that I felt uncomfortable how high Aaron Jones was going. And A.J. Dillon in the 6th round was a steal. A smash. Smitty, I have Kyler, CMC, Swift, Kirk, Elijah Moore, Dotson, Keenan Allen, sad face, Mark Andrews, Rashad White, Breece Hall. What should I do to upgrade? I think your team, you don't really have a lot of opportunity to sell high except for Swift, and I don't want you selling Swift. So I would let it ride one more week, let Christian McCaffrey gain some value, because I don't think you'll get from McCaffrey what you need to get. but you could try and explore trading McCaffrey. Andrews, you got to wait on, let him have a big week, and then you could look at some trades next week. But I think only trading CMC if the right buyer came along and saw opportunity to buy low, which I don't think you're going to get a lot of opportunities for that. What would I go get? A Debo for CMC. I mean, maybe you get an Aaron Jones and a Debo, like from somebody. You get somebody that's freaking out about Aaron Jones or Debo. Like, it's got to be something big, and I don't think CMC is going to get you that yet. So you kind of got to wait. Oh man, there it is. What do you do with CD? Who do I trade him for? ETN is one player you could trade him for. CD Lamb for a combination of players like Higgins. Try and get Higgins, who's injured right now. I would, even if you got to give up a little more to wash that, I would go get Higgins if I could. I think that would be a pretty smart move on your part if you could go ahead and pull that off. There's a super chat from Payne. Appreciate you, Payne. This one's from Nicholas. Thank you, Nicholas, for the super chat. This one's from Sonny. Sonny, appreciate you. And I'm dropping your super chats on screen. Don't worry, I'm not forgetting about you. I think Riviera, I got to this one, but I'm going to put it here just in case I didn't. And then Avi, I got Avi's super chat. Need 12 points. Got Avi's. I got Roberts. I think, hey, pal, looking to package. Yeah, I got that one. D-Money, Lee. I think I'm caught up. Please let me know. Get my attention somehow. Get my attention with the question mark emoji a couple times. Hey, Smitty, where's my super chat? Let's agree on that. And don't abuse it, or I'm not going to answer your question. Use the question mark emoji, the red question mark emoji, a couple times if I ever forget someone's super chat so I can see it. This message right here. Smitty, you to the moon. No, you're to the moon, Deckard. Appreciate you. Mad props for doing that show in the car after losing power. Ethereum or Gibson next week. We called ETN Ethereum because somebody abbreviated ETN wrong and they put ETH Ethereum. Ethereum or Gibson next week. Probably go with ETN, but I mean, Deckard, that's a close one. That's a real close one, bro. I'd probably say try telling people, shake my head. Everyone laughed at me about Julio being washed. Look, Julio looked good. We'll see how long he lasts. Those hamstrings are paper thin, but I mean, he looked really good. He also got forced into a situation. He did it on that one play where Julio laid out. It almost looked like he got hurt on that play. I don't think Julio lasts, but he looks really good, surprisingly, at the moment. But he's gonna get hurt. There's no way he stays healthy. He's got hamstrings the size of this piece of paper right here. And so it's a matter of time, but he looks really good, and I actually don't mind him as a wide receiver 3 right now. I'll admit it. Appreciate you again. I go ETN, but Gibson ETN very, very close. If you feel any kind of hesitation about ETN, like let's say some news looks bad on it, and I'll clearly address this with you Saturday as well. Let's attack this. Who's the Thursday night game? I'm blanking out who the Thursday night game is. Let's see. Week 2 schedule. Week 2 Thursday night game is the Chargers Chiefs. Unbelievable. I'm so in week 1 right now. I can't even think about week 2. Chargers Chiefs. That's a great game. So we can address this game, this matchup for you on Saturday. But for now, I lean ETN. Not by a ton. And I could go the other way. I mean, Gibson got work, but Gibson's a good sell high. He's definitely a good sell high, I think, because, you don't really know what you're going to get out of him, So, no, Smitty, you to the moon. No, you're to the moon, Wilson. And I wish I could land everything too, guys. I know some people are mad in here. That typically happens after week 1 where people are like, you said, like, I'm going to say, I say thousands of things a show. I'm not going to be 100% on stuff. That's just the nature of this. And, I could either sit here and tell you, oh, I'm sorry, I missed on this and landed on this and missed on. We could spend an hour doing that, or we could just move on and try and figure out the best plan forward. So I appreciate all the good support, and I even understand some of the negativity that comes in after week 1 where people are mad because Dameon Pierce didn't do anything in week 1. Something I have no control over, but I do feel like he's a guy that's going to do well. and I trade for him. I still like him a lot. Trade Saquon for Diggs and Carter. I don't think Michael Carter is good enough, bro, to be an additive piece. I like Carter enough. He looks smooth enough for right now, smooth criminal, to play off your name. But I think Diggs, I think Barkley's too valuable right now, and I'm admitting that. Barkley looked fantastic. And if anything, Barkley's trade value is so much higher than Diggs right now, even though Diggs is very valuable too. Everyone remembers Barkley's game more than they remember Diggs' game right now. And you should be able to get more. Like this guy's trying to get Diggs and just almost, I'm not trying to belittle or demean the value of Michael Carter right now, because he looks very decent. But to throw Michael Carter in to make the swap, that's disrespectful. You say no to this trade. This guy's got to come with more thunder than offering you Michael Carter to make this swap, because Barkley just turned into a first rounder. And as much as I wanted to see more from him before I ranked him higher, I saw it. It is what it is. I didn't say avoid Barkley. I didn't say not draft him. I said in the third round, I liked him. I liked him a lot in the third round. Mid-third round on, perfect place for me to scoop him up. He didn't often fall there. People that drafted him in the second round made the right call. Now he's jumped into first round value. It happens all the time. Players can vault rounds in advance. Now, is there still a lot of injury risk with Saquon? I still think there is. I mean, him playing like a monster doesn't take away the fact that there's injury risk. But Saquon's got value up here now. You trade Saquon, you better be getting the world because you can. Not because you should or I think you should, but because fair market value for Saquon is first round talent right now. Maybe top 7 overall value is what Saquon currently has right now in the trade market. So you need to get that if you're making a trade or you're losing out. I have James Robinson. Should I trade him for Debo? Absolutely. Absolutely. Trade James Robinson for Debo Samuel. This is no knock on J-Rob. I like J-Rob. I'm sorry that J-Rob did better than I expected, but he's still in a big injury risk, and he did only get 11 carries. He got touchdowns. You know, if J-Rob didn't have those touchdowns, 11 carries, it wouldn't have been as big of a story. If ETN would have pulled in his 2 touchdowns, he would have been talked about as being, this would have been a formidable running back crew instead of it being all about James Robinson and ETN sucks. That's what everybody's coming away with right now. And I understand why. ETN should have caught the pass. ETN should have pulled in those footballs. ETN didn't. So it's on ETN, it's on me, it's on everybody that believed in ETN. Unfortunately, ETN screwed everybody in the week 1 contest, but doesn't mean ETN doesn't have value. I like ETN. Would I take Debo in a heartbeat for James Robinson? In a heartbeat, bro. Not a millisecond goes by before I hit that button. Javonte Corleone, 93 rushing yards, 46 receiving, 2 TDs. I like it, Nicholas. I like the way your mind's thinking, bro. Do you think CD is done in Dallas? Trade him? I don't think he's done. He's not hurt. He's not the one hurt. So we got to be careful not to devalue CD too much. But is he a wide receiver 1 right now in my mind while Dak's out? Borderline. Means he's a wide receiver 2. Would I trade him for Higgins straight up? Probably. And I think because Higgins is hurt, you might be able to pull that off. That would probably be my favorite get out of CeeDee Lamb move. T. Higgins. Even if you got to give up a tiny bit more, I would probably do that. Homer, Dallas backup, Penny, while Walker out. Homer or Dallas backup for Penny while Walker is out. I guess it would be, I'm not really even worried about the backup. I'm not even, like Ryan, I wouldn't even go there. I suppose Homer would be, but we don't know. No one knows. If Penny went down, it would be probably what we see on the depth chart would be different, because sometimes teams have the backup different. Just like Jeff Wilson's the backup in theory right now in San Francisco. Now Mitchell's officially out. That might change. They might move Jordan Mason up and keep Mitchell in a change of pace role. You know what I mean? Like the change of pace back oftentimes looks like the backup to people, but when the injury actually happens, that change of pace role player might still stay change of pace role, and the backup might be the 3rd string running back that comes up and starts. So that's why Jordan Mason potentially could start week 1. Week 2. Ty Davis Price could start week 2 for the Niners. It's not for sure the de facto backup, which is currently Jeff Wilson. So be careful on your waiver wire when you start thinking, oh, it's Jeff Wilson. And it might be. And I still don't know that I attack Jeff Wilson over Jordan Mason and Ty Davis Price. I'd rather have the duo, Ty Davis Price and Jordan Mason, cuffed together than have just Jeff Wilson, in my opinion. So thank you for that question. Appreciate you with your super chat. Henderson, Michael Carter, Bateman, Deebo Samuel, DJ Moore, Jeff Wilson, Drop Cook, Woods. I already got to that one. Again, I ranked those in order of, and I like Henderson too, but DJ Moore, Bateman, Henderson. Maybe I didn't say Henderson earlier. Michael Carter. I like DJ Moore's got to be grabbed. He shouldn't be available. If you need a running back, I'd go Henderson over Bateman or Henderson over Michael Carter. If you need a running back though, Michael Carter. And I mean, yeah, that's you could go with the running back instead of Bateman. I just think Bateman's got a little more value, a little more trade value too, if you want to get into a different running back. I have one league with Derrick Henry. Who should I trade him for? Debo's a great buy low. We talked about Debo. We talked about Kyle Pitts. I'm not saying one of these guys. I'm saying combinations. You know, if you got Debo and Kyle Pitts for Henry and you had running back support, I'm fine with that. Kyle Pitts and Debo, that would be good. ETN and a big name wide receiver potentially. 540 people in here, 201 thumbs up. Punch that thumb up button for your boy Smitty. I have let's see. Thank you for that super chat, Sonny. But definitely feel like other players to Kamara, Henry for Kamara and Dameon Pierce, Mike Williams and Kamara for Derrick Henry. Like there might be options to get a buy low player in conjunction with Kamara. I probably would try my best to get 2 players, one of them being that big, Debo, and then a bigger player, or Kamara's, because Kamara's a little higher value than Debo, so you'd have to get a little lesser player, but maybe you get a Dameon Pierce. You could get an ETN and Debo for Henry. I don't even know if that's a for sure best move to make, but it's a combination you could look at. Appreciate all of you guys dropping the thumbs up. It helps the channel. I have James Robinson. Should I trade him for Debo again? Smash that all day long and twice on Sundays. Guy said he will trade CMC for Najee and Juju. No, I don't. I'd rather have CMC. CMC might be a guy I'd go attack, come to think of it, using Najee. And that's crazy for me to say, but Najee's foot worries me. And the fact that it was an issue in the preseason, and he sat out up until that preseason game, and now he's seeing symptoms of it. Does anybody think going out there and running on this foot is going to make it better or make it go away? I'm definitely selling Najee if I can. I don't think it's a smart move to assume that he's going to be smart or available all year. It's not a smart move if you can get out of it in a smart way. And even though McCaffrey's been a big avoid for me, now it's time to buy low. Buy low, sell high. It's fluid. You're never going to see me say never, ever go after a player. Values change. I was joking, giving your credit, Michael. Oh, okay. I'm sorry, Michael. Michael, I kind of remember what you're saying now about KC, but appreciate you. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Deontay, sometimes I don't pick up on those things. I'm reading so many different things. So, Michael, appreciate your super chat. Appreciate your support. Appreciate you being here. Michael K. CPA. Michael K. CPA, we need to get you an emoji. So, you need to tell me what you want on your emoji. Deontay and ETN, a little too much for Lamb. I don't know that I want Elliott in this offense, bro. I mean, I suppose that's okay for Lamb. What does the chat think? Would you rather have Zeke Elliott and Deontay, or would you rather have Lamb? That's not bad, Overcome. That's not horrible, but I feel like I'd rather have like a ETN and something like that. I don't know. It's not bad. You're at least dividing Lamb up into 2 players, but I don't love Deontay. I think Deontay's still a little bit of a risk, especially in that situation. What did Deontay finish with on his game? Deontay. I know he was decent, but not like overwhelming. Yeah, he had 7 catches for 55 yards. So decent day in PPR. Decent day. 12 points in PPR. I'll let the chat decide for you whether this is a good move or not. I'm okay with it, but I'd prefer you have Pollard and Elliott together than to just get Elliott and have him go down. But Lamb's a risk for sure moving forward. But Lamb, I got a Lamb vote, Lamb vote, Lamb vote, Lamb vote. No on this trade according to everybody else. And I can get behind that. I could say, I just don't, it's not a fun trade for me. It's not an attractive trade for me. I doubt Zeke Elliott very much. Deontay's, I think, a little bit of a worry. We got a lot of Lamb votes here. I don't want, Zeke is going to get touchdowns, especially if you just need him in the flex. Got a couple Deontay's and Zeke votes coming in. Get Lamb. Pollard is now a first rounder. Pollard is now a first rounder. I prefer Deontay. So a lot of different takes on that. I don't think it's horrible if you did it. I just don't know that I would want to do that. I figure I would go shopping somewhere else. I think I'd go to a different store. I think I'd rather get a different brand is kind of what I'm thinking there. I'm getting the super chats on screen. Hang tight while I do that. Please know that I'm not trying to delay responding to you. We just have a lot going on here, and I want to make sure every single one of you is properly taken care of. So hang tight. James Conklin says hit that thumb up button. 500 people in here, 227 thumbs up. Keep them rolling, keep them flowing. Chris with a super chat. Master with a super chat. Thank you very much for dropping these. Deckard with another super chat. Deckard's a beast, man. Deckard's a beast. I like Deckard's hat too. Jared with the super chat. Cover with the super chat. Recovery with the super chats. Thank you, Recovery. Jared, thank you. Top Gun with another super. And I think that might catch us up. Ryan, I don't know if Ryan already got to you. Put Ryan's super chat there. And then Payne, I got Payne's about James Robinson trading for Debo. Do that in a heartbeat. Okay, let me get back down to the bottom and make sure I'm covered on the super chats. Matthew, I don't know if I have this one already, but let me throw out this one and start on Matthew. Kyle, I think I got you, but I'm going to throw you there. Ozzy, I think I got you, but I'm going to throw you there. Okay. Lost Dak 12-man, 2 QB. My team is Herbie, Dak, Aaron Jones, Dylan, Lenny, Edmonds, Pollard, Will Pittman, Cooks, Bateman. What to trade for, Joey B and Chase, or just Joey? How do you get Joey B? Aaron Jones, Dylan, Lenny, Edmonds. I don't know how you can't get both of them. I'm not sure if that's what you're asking. Do I trade for Joey B and Chase? How are you going to get both of them, though? I'm just curious, Matthew. Unless you're a sorcery master or you have some kind of degree in sorcery. Like even if you're an apprentice or something, I don't know how you're going to pull this off. I like Herbie. Absolutely phenomenal. Herbie. So Aaron Jones, let's see if we can cook one up. Lenny and Cooks and Bateman for Chase. I mean, would I do that? Yeah, I would do that, but I'm crazy. Aaron Jones for Jamar Chase, and then you add something in like Bateman. I mean, of course I would do that. I would trade for Burrow on the cheap. He'll be easier to acquire than than Chase. Chase had a good day still. He should have 3 TDs, but he didn't. He dropped didn't pull one in, and he should have 3 touchdowns, like $150. Chase would have had a day. Chase would have been talked about as the best player in the week if he had pulled in those 2 other scores. Edmonds is a good sell. Would I trade Edmonds and Lenny for Jamar Chase? Absolutely. Would I sell Aaron Jones and Edmonds for Jamar Chase? Absolutely. Would I sell Dak, who you're not going to want? No one's going to want to acquire Dak, but if you sell Dak and Lenny for Burrow, sure. You sell Aaron Jones for Burrow in a super flex, absolutely. You know, you have to give up Edmonds, do it. You have to give up Bateman, do it. Like, those are the options, but I don't know that it's going to be hard for you to acquire both of them. You might be able to get Burrow because Burrow had such a bad game to everybody. Everybody's freaking out about Joe Burrow. But this is still one of the best stacks in fantasy. Not that AJ Brown or Hurts aren't one of the best as well. Obviously, Josh Allen and Diggs are probably, I would say, the one right now. But for the value,
The stack above all stacks. It's time to drop the pancake emojis in the live chat.
I'm still very confident in this stack. The reason it's a stack above all stacks is the value, the cost of entry. Because you had to spend Josh Allen and Diggs cost you a third and a first rounder. So the reason why everyone keeps asking, why would you have that over Josh Allen and Diggs? I don't have it over Josh Allen and Diggs. What I have is the value of 6 to 7 round Joseph Burrow, who, if we drafted today, might go in 7, like cemented in at 7. I don't think he'd drop to 8, but I think Joe Burrow struggling would have Joe Burrow even more valuable, and so the stack would be even more valuable considering the cost of entry.
The stack above all stacks. It's time to drop the pancake emojis in the live chat.
And I get where Jeremy's coming from in this comment. Cigar smoking Joe Burrow looked awful. He didn't look awful. He was 7 out of 10 when he had 2 interceptions. There were some tip passes as well. 7 out of 10 with 2 INTs. He was still efficient. It was a tough game against a very tough, at the time, now maybe different Steelers defense with Watt out. But Joseph Burrow looked amazing in the fourth quarter, and people need to take it in context. Why are you always trying to sell Jamar Chase? Stop. Yeah, don't try and sell Jamar Chase. Kyler or Burrow? Give me Burrow. I'm not changing my mind on Burrow. But it's 1 week. 1 week. Absolute. Burrow's gonna be a monster. Thank you for the super chat, Ryan. Matthew was the last super chat I think I got on screen. Najee for Russell Wilson and Antonio Gibson. No. I mean, I realize you probably lost Dak, Top Gun. I forget already what your first question was, so I assume that you lost Dak. I mean, is Davis Mills on waivers? And then it comes down to, if he is, then I'd rather have Davis Mills and Najee. So I'm going to say no to that until I have a little bit more information. But Smitty, I'm thinking of trading Lamb for Terry McLaurin or Michael Thomas. I would maybe trade Lamb for Michael Thomas and try and get something else. But Lamb's still alive. Lamb's still breathing. Lamb still can survive. And I don't know that I trust Michael Thomas fully. So I'm okay with not doing that trade too. But let's not trade Lamb like we're trading Dak. Dak's out. Lamb is not out, and Rush may target him, So I'd be more apprehensive of freaking out on Lamb than I would other players. So I would say like I'd be skeptical of trading Lamb for MT. But if you're going to make that trade, I would go after MT, not McLaurin. But I don't know. MT still worries me, but it's something to think about if you want production and you're worried. Trade MT, Waller, and Damian Harris for Diggs. MT, Waller, Damian Harris. MT and Waller is a little much. I like Diggs a lot. You get Bateman as well. I suppose, bro. Trade MT, Waller, and Harris for Diggs and Bateman. I'd probably rather have Diggs and Bateman if your tight end's sufficient enough for your backup, though, bro. A lot of it depends on your backups and what you got going on in your team. I have Barkley and JJ now, and I just need Pitts to step up. Do you think he will be able to bounce back? Yeah, because it's 1 week, bro. There's no bouncing back yet. It was 1 week. You know what I mean? There's no bouncing back. He's fine. There's nothing wrong with Kyle Pitts. He'll be good. You told me to take Rodgers over Tua. Why would you ever do something like that? Freiermuth or Schultz to start next week? I believe Deckert's joking. Tua. What did Tua end up having? Rodgers was a wreck, but I'm still not super concerned like overall about Rodgers. Tua had 270 and 1 TD. Obviously Deckert's joking, but like Tua looks okay, and I think Tua could be decent, but he's not a superstar by any means. Freiermuth or Schultz, do you start next week? Probably still Schultz, man. I think it could be a safety net. Who do I start? Tua over Rodgers next week? Let me look at Aaron Rodgers real quick and just make sure there's nothing, no injury as well, because he got leveled. And I just want to check and make sure he's fine. 195 yards and an interception is a horrible game. Brutal game for Aaron Rodgers. But He does play Chicago. I know everyone's going to say Chicago just did what they did to the Niners, but look, Chicago was in a pool of water in their home turf. This is going to be in Green Bay, and I think Chicago, it might look very different than the San Francisco game. So I'm going to go ahead and say give me Aaron Rodgers, but I'm certainly concerned. And if you chose Tua, I wouldn't blame you. As for Schultz, Freiermuth, I love Freiermuth a lot, but I'm going to still go Schultz, and he could be a safety net. Schultz I may have overreacted on my initial reaction when the news broke on Dak, and I said downgrade all of them, and I do believe you got to downgrade everybody, but I also feel that Schultz could survive in decent fashion. I'm not freaking out. It sucks to see this stuff, right? You naturally you're going to be upset. Dak's down, great. Now Schultz is going to be garbage. But Schultz will be a safety net for Rush. And maybe he ends up doing as well as he would have with Dak. I mean, it's possible. So I think Dalton Schultz owners need to calm down a little bit. Lamb owners can freak out a little bit, but they need to calm down too. Maybe even that MT for Lamb trade, you just say, look, you invested a lot in Lamb. Maybe Lamb can still be a low-end wide receiver 1 and surprise us. Check my message, please. Thanks, Smitty. This one, Master. Rate my team. 12-man PPR draft from the 12th. I went Swift, Saquon, A.J. Brown, Pittman, Schultz, Hurts, Gabe Davis, Pierce, Cordero, Julio, Freiermuth, Dobbs, Mostert, Broncos. I love Swift. I love Saquon. I love A.J. Brown. Love Pitts. Schultz is still fine. Hurts at the quarterback spot. Gabe Davis. Rate your team. I'm giving you a 9, broski. And if Dameon Pierce steps up, I mean, you got Cordero in the meantime. Put Cordero in until Dameon Pierce shows up. Love it. Thank you for the super chat. Nice team. Trade J-Rob and Michael Thomas for Pittman. Woo! What's the chat think? J-Rob and MT or Pittman? Can we get a vote for Chris on that one? Because that's a close call. Part of me wants to say I don't trust Mike Thomas, and I'd rather have Pittman. So give me Pittman, but I understand if people like J-Rob, but I'd rather have Pittman over Mike Thomas. I would trade those straight up if I could. So that means that the question is J-Rob enough? And I'm not really feeling like J-Rob's pushing anything over the edge for me. As much as he looked good, I get it, I understand, but it's not pushing over the edge. Would you trade Schultz to get Everett? Would I trade Schultz and get Everett off waivers? I would if Schultz would get you a lot, but I don't think Schultz will get you a lot, bro. We've got Pittman, J-Rob and MT from Ozzy, Pittman. I think MT side all day, says Sean. Keep Pittman. I like Pittman. Pittman people win, but there are a few MT votes. There are a few. Would you trade Schultz? What can you get for Schultz? Can you get ETN and then pick up Everett? I would do that. That's the kind of move I'd make. Rock out, but past that, I'm not freaking out on Schultz. No. I wouldn't drop Schultz, that's for sure. I've got a couple of those questions. I can't believe my mind. My eyes when I see that, or my mind, or my hearing, or my sight. 500 of you in here, 242 thumbs up. Punch that thumb up button. Trade Gibson and Cooks for Burrow and Gabe Davis. Give me Burrow and Gabe Davis all. If that's Brandon Cooks, sometimes you guys add an S on the end of Cook, Dalvin Cook. Gibson and Brandon Cooks for Burrow and Gabe Davis. I punched that so quickly. I would take the Burrow and Gabe Davis side. That is probably the easiest question I've been asked in the last 48 hours, by far. Who do you think I can get for Cordero Patterson? I also have Darrell Henderson as trade bait as well. My running backs are Javonte and Dillon. You're sitting pretty good. I would go across position. I would trade Cordero Patterson and somebody for Deebo Samuel. And I think you could get that done from a Deebo Samuel owner if they need a running back. That is probably the best, most fantastic trade package you could come up with right now, Ozzy, in your position. Go get Deebo. Go get him. Receive Kamara and Higgins for Harris and Lamb. I would rather have Kamara and Higgins over Harris and Lamb right now. I know that sounds a little crazy, but I worry enough about Lamb's situation and I worry enough about Harris that I feel like I'd rather have Kamara and Higgins. That's even taking on a lot of the risk that I don't like in the off the field, the video being released. Look, I don't go near Kamara at first or top of second round value. My advice has not changed from draft day. Avoid. People drafting Kamara at 9 overall, 11 overall. You're not packaging any risk that this guy could miss some time and be raptured from the NFL in week 10 because a video gets released, and it's such a bad video the NFL has to remove him from the field. So I feel like as long as you're buying him at that level, Kamara is a good buy. That's a different value. Lost Dak, 12-man, 2 QB. Herbie Dak. Okay, I got this one already. Thank you, Matthew, for your super chat. Michael, appreciate your super chat. I'm going to put you in the corner right here, good buddy. Thank you for dropping that. Give Lamb and ETN for Debo. I think it's a little too much, bro. Would I trade Lamb for Debo? Yes. Would I trade ETN for Debo? Yes. But I'm not giving up both of those. In my opinion, that's not a great trade. Michael with a $5 hauler. PPR super flex. Lost Dak, left with Lance and Winston. Javonte, Etienne, Jamar Chase, Judy, Goddard, MVS, Stevenson, Godwin, Hines, Herbert. Any suggestions? I mean, Lance is suitable, bro. I mean, 1 week in the pool, playing in a pool full of water. We cannot judge Trey Lance in week 1. People judging him too early are going to be sorry. Davis Mills, make sure he's not on waivers. I said that all offseason long. Hopefully he's not sitting there waiting and somebody's going to pounce on him because he would be a great play right now. Over Lance. I love Davis Mills. Javonte, Etienne, Jamar Chase, Judy, Goddard. You're in a good spot with some of those guys, obviously. Let Judy do his thing tonight. Etienne should bounce back. Javonte should be good to go, of course. Stevenson, obviously a dud so far, but definitely capable of dropping fire if they want to use him properly. Goddard, Godwin, Hines. I mean, not much you can do. No one's going to buy Godwin. No one's buying Etienne. You could sell Chase, but I don't want you to. And Judy, there's not really many moves you can make. Just make sure you aren't, looking at Davis Mills on waivers. Malik Willis is also an interesting grab and stash if you can find room for it. Don't drop Herbert. Khalil Herbert's a fantastic player to have. Had Dak, Allen, Higgins, and Najee go down help. I wish I could give you a suggestion, bro, off those players, but like Najee, I'll maybe look to trade Najee for another risky player that you like to risk a little more. Like I was saying, Kamara. You could go after Kamara and maybe even get something, maybe not. You could trade. You can't trade Keenan Allen. Higgins, I wouldn't trade coming off of the concussion because no one's going to buy him properly. So only trading not from what the information I have right here, I would say look to trade Najee to get out of that risk, but that's a tough one. That's a really tough one. AJ Brown to Mars Smitty, absolutely, bro. Absolutely love AJ Brown and Jalen Hurts. Those guys are Mars men. We got to put them on the Mars men list. Thoughts on Taysom? Was he a week 1 outlier? Not necessarily. I like Taysom a lot. I've liked Taysom in best ball. Been one of my favorite tight end strategies in best ball is drafting this guy as your third tight end because they can't take away the position eligibility on best ball. So if he ends up doing what he's doing right now and he's all over the field, he's going to continue to score points no matter what. They can't take it away from you. ESPN can take away, if he goes into a quarterback spot, all of a sudden he's not a tight end anymore. That sucks, but I still take him. He's a fantastic tight end play. Like you lost, a tight end. This is a guy to go get, and he's going to be on one of the top waiver wire guys for sure. Absolutely love him. Herbert, Swift, Dillon, JJ, Keenan Allen, Andrews, Cooks, bench, Dobbins, Godwin, Hopkins, Madison, Patterson. Patterson's good to get in your lineup. Jacobs, trade options to improve this team. I don't know if you can trade Jacobs. What did Jacobs even finish with? It wasn't anything that stood out, that's for sure. Let's see. Maybe he did better than I thought. 1 reception, 16 yards, 57 yards. No. He had 5.7 yards per carry. Maybe someone's willing to get to take him on. Dobbins, maybe someone's interested in him becoming a player that they can hold. And I love Swift, Herbert, Dillon, JJ, Keenan Allen going down, Hurts, hold Andrews. I would trade Cooks and Dobbins for ETN. I would trade Cooks and Dobbins for Debo. I would trade Cooks, Dobbins, and Godwin all together for Debo if I had to get that done. I'd put Patterson in your lineup in the meantime, but Jacobs and Cooks for Debo. Patterson and Jacobs for Debo. Like, Debo would be a great buy low for you. You've got Andrews. Maybe trading Andrews into Kyle Pitts and getting something else in addition is something you could look at. I would say Higgins is a good player to go get using Cordero Patterson, or Jacobs and Cooks for Higgins. I would do that. Those are players that I think would make your team really, really good. I like the Higgins idea a lot. Maybe try and keep Cordero and Higgins, have them both, and then trade Jacobs and Cooks. Thank you, Cam, for the super chat. Put a couple question mark emojis in your question if you got one. Again, don't abuse that, guys, or I won't answer your question. But if I miss your super chat, let me know with that, please. 1 PPR, Herbert, Swift, Dillon, JJ, Keenan Allen, Andrews, Cooks, bench, Dobbins, Godwin. I think that's the one I just read. Right? Yeah, great team. Phenomenal team. Ozzy with the super chat. Ozzy, who do you like? Who do you think I could get for Cordero Patterson? Also, Darrell Henderson is trade bait. I answered that one already. Fantastic. Again, I like the Higgins idea too. I really like the Higgins idea. Darrell Henderson is somebody for Higgins, like a Cooks. Cordero Patterson for Higgins would be a decent swap if you wanted to go for a wide receiver. Receive Kamara and Higgins for Harris and Lamb. Again, everybody, thank you for voting on that. Burrow, Swift, ETN, Pierce, Hall, CD, McLaurin, DJ Moore. Pray for me. I already got to that question. We are continuing. I've been praying the whole entire time for you. Tabron traded Adams and Hunt for Swift and MT. Adams and Hunt for Swift and MT. I could get behind that. I like that, bro. I like that. I like Swift and MT. MT, I still look to maybe trade MT though. But that's really good. That's a great trade. Adams is fire, but so is Swift, and MT's better. You could argue both sides if you had to, but I would rather have that Swift side, and then you could trade MT. Trade Cup, Aaron Jones, Henry Hill. Okay, thank you for voting on that one as well, guys. G Money with the super chat. Then I'm going to get to some voicemails as well. Michael, appreciate you on that Winston and Lance question. Ben, 2 wide receiver, 1 flex. Trade CD for Zeke. I'd keep CD. I'm not freaking out to that extent, man. I have Schultz and Lamb. Should I package one of them and trade for someone? I don't know if anybody's buying right now. Try Lamb. There's some people that will buy Lamb. I think Schultz people will be standoffish for. Would I take Pitts over Schultz? I would. Would I trade Lamb for Debo? Yeah. So like try and Lamb and somebody for Debo. I would do that. Higgins and somebody for Lamb. But I think you need to get more than Higgins if you get Higgins for Lamb. And keep in mind, he's still banged up. We don't 100% know if he's been cleared yet, at least since I've been live. There may have been an announcement or something since I've been live. Let's get to this question here from the voicemail group. Jim.
With Elijah Mitchell's knee injury looking like it's going to be keeping him out up to 8 weeks or 2 months, is there a running back now that emerges that you think has some value or that you like to be the new RB1 there? Because I don't think it's going to be Jeff Wilson. Do you think Ty Davis-Price or maybe even Jordan Mason take over?
So for those just joining, and I'm sure Jim heard me answer that question, it's Jeff Wilson looks like the de facto, but I don't want him. I think he's going to end up faltering and leaving the job for the other 2 running backs, Ty Davis-Price and Jordan Mason, which we don't know which one to grab. But I would rather have those 2 running backs than Jeff Wilson alone.
Hey, Smitty, I know every league is different and every league has different players who are available, but if you had Dak Prescott as your starting quarterback, what sort of waiver wire quarterbacks are you targeting to kind of fill that gap for the 6 to 8 weeks that he's out?
I mean, if Davis Mills is there, then he should have been grabbed. And if he's there, you should feel very, very lucky and scoop him up. And he'd be worth a ton of waiver wire fab. So that's the main guy. Malik Willis eventually could be a monster steal for people. It's a preemptive measure. You got to have room on your bench, but I would take Malik Willis if you could and stash him. I got Kamara and Higgins for Najee and Lamb. I mean, it's a decent move. It's a decent move. It's not a for sure move that's gonna 100% end up being the right call. Like, I can't guarantee this is the right call, but this feels like a pretty decent move for you if Kamara does not get raptured from the NFL, just because I fear this Najee foot injury is a problem, and because we worry about Lamb. I'm okay with this trade. Getting more would have been nice, but I don't know that you could right now because Lamb is coming off this injury that he's supposed to maybe be ready for week 2. And if a couple people like Kyle can take advantage of this news, and let's say it ends up being a little worse than we thought, Najee's going to take a couple weeks off, this could backfire and turn in a totally different direction. I'm worried about the Liz Frank injury. Who are these people accepting those kind of trades, Kyle? Says Harrington. Looks like, or Harrigan. Harrigan looks like he likes it. Are we trading Najee now? Joseph, you got to go watch the entire beginning of the stream to understand yeah. Najee for Lenny? No, I'm not trading Najee for Lenny. I'm not trading Najee for Lenny. This is Kevin.
Hey, Smitty, the bright side to the Atlanta Falcons offense and Kyle Pitts is they actually moved the ball and they scored some points. So that is a bright side for Kyle Pitts.
Yeah. I think Kyle Pitts is very undervalued. Very, very undervalued. This one's from Kevin.
Hey, Smitty, who are your top 3 buy low and sell high candidates?
You're going to have to wait for the video, which comes out. But I'm going to say Kyle Pitts is going to be on there as a buy. I think, a sell would probably be a couple sells. I think I'm going to sell Nick Chubb on the high. Kareem Hunt's very, very involved. If Chubb didn't have the efficiency he had, he's going to be in some trouble because they're feeding Kareem Hunt a ton. I think CMC's a buy and a sell. Ironically, you'll have a couple of those on the list tomorrow night when I do the buy low, sell high. I think Hunt's a good sell high. I'm not saying he's not a good hold. He's still a good hold as well if you can't get a ton. Good buys, Kamara, Pitts, Burrow, all those guys. So you'll hear all about that on the show. Kevin. Oh, I got that one. Thank you guys for that. Let's go to the phone calls and answer some of those.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Dial in to the show. Let's get to your questions and concerns and trade ideas and all that. Thank you for all the super chats that have been flowing in. Almost to mine, says Tabern. Tabern, did I miss any super chats? Can you please repaste a question with any question marks, please? If I missed one of your super chats, please, and I'll get to it. Should I package them for somebody again? Some of those names I read off, G Money, would be good to go get. Lamb and I go get Debo somehow. I go get Debo, especially depending on who you got. You're live on the Fantasy Football Show. Who am I talking to?
Billy.
What's up? Who am I talking to?
It's Billy from Clearwater, Florida.
Billy, what's up, Billy? What can I help you with?
Not much, man. What's going on, Smitty? I just wanted you to rate my 12-man team.
All right. What do you got?
All right, so I got Josh Allen. I got JT. I got McCaffrey. I got JJ, Jamar Chase. I got Kelsey.
Did you leave anybody for the grandmas, or what's going on here? I mean, this is a 9 or a 10 out of 10. I like it. Smitty approved.
Yeah, this ain't no grandma league, no bar sheet, nothing like that. It's legit.
How many owners? How many grandmas in this? 11?
14, man.
14? Oh my God! How did you find 13 grandmas that wanted to play a fantasy football league, bro? How did you find 13? How did you corral 13 people at the nursing home to jump in a league? That's crazy. That team's fire. Now that I know it's a 14 teamer, that's almost a 10. You almost got the first 10 of the year.
Appreciate you, Smitty, man. Love the show, bro. You're killing it, dude.
Yeah. Hey, appreciate you, man. Good team. Later.
All right, bro.
All right, dial in. That's hard to believe. I trust Billy, but that's hard to believe that's a 14-team league. He's working over some people. We got a couple BS calls on that one. People saying that's a BS. I mean, because literally anybody could call in. I trust Billy. I trust you, Billy. But anybody could call in and just say, "Yeah, I got. Here's my team." You're live on the Fantasy Football Show. Who am I talking to? Who were you? You're live on the Fantasy Football Show. Who am I talking to?
You're talking to Dylan from Connecticut.
Dylan, what's up?
How's it going, bud?
I'm good, man.
Excited for, week one to finally start, We drafted pretty early, but just to get into, what I want to talk about, I was thinking about moving Debo after this week. I already have Justin Jefferson, but I really want to get another, top. I don't think I could get Cup, but I was thinking maybe I could wiggle Chase away from somebody. Do you think there's actual value there, or should I just be holding Debo at this point?
I mean
it's not going to be a straight up trade. This guy is kind of like a trash can, in my opinion. But
who's a
he
trash?
Has Trevor Lawrence?
Who's a trash can?
And the guy I'm thinking about trading with.
Oh, okay. He's a trash can. I thought you were saying Debo's a trash can. I'm like, Debo's pretty good.
Not you. Not anybody that has to do with the show or players or anything.
Okay.
But,
so Debo is no, I thought you meant Debo, not me. But Debo, you could think I'm a trash can, but not Debo. Don't do that to Debo. But Debo is
no.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm kidding. Debo is probably harder to trade now than he was before, the week one kicked off, because he did good. Considering, but you have people freaking out about the Niners offense and everything. So I feel like Debo for Chase is doable, but you'd have to give up a lot more. But Chase isn't going to be easy to acquire, because in a very bad game, he almost had 3 touchdowns. He did have 1 touchdown. He had a pretty solid day. So he'll be hard to get, but I don't know that I rush out to trade Debo, but if you could get Chase somehow, I would. What are you thinking?
This guy Lawrence for a QB, and I have Lamar Jackson, which I don't have much confidence in. I was figuring if I moved Jackson and Debo and got Chase, I would just pick up a Davis Mills, because I have Aaron Rodgers. That team's probably not going to show up for at least the first few games till he gets some synergy with his wide receivers. So, I was going to pick up Mills as a bridge quarterback till Aaron Rodgers' offense figures it out, if I was able to make that move.
So basically Jamar Chase, and then your quarterback would be Davis Mills or Aaron Rodgers, and you'd have to give up Debo and Lamar. I feel like you're giving up more value. I mean, what if they just... I'm not saying Debo's going to stay healthy if they abuse him, but I mean, what if they start running this guy a massive amount of times?
Yeah.
Now. I just feel like it could be you're giving up too much, but I love the idea of you getting Jamar Chase, though. I'm not going to lie. Who's his backup?
Yeah.
Who's his core?
I don't have enough value anywhere else to really entice someone at this point to give up a big piece.
Yeah, I'd
have to wait until Dameon Pierce has a breakout game.
Yeah, I just think Lamar. As much as I worry about Lamar getting hurt or something, Lamar and Debo is better for your team than. And I love Davis Mills. I think you should grab him anyway, so no one else can grab him. But I don't think I think you're selling too much points. You're giving up too many points on your bench or on your in your lineup for this move to make sense. But if you could get another a Burrow somehow, then it would make sense to me. But I think it's too much.
All right. Thank you, bud. I really appreciate you answering my question. I always watch the show.
Yeah,
Thank you again.
Call back if you have another question. Later. All right, dial in if you guys got a question. Mark Cleveland, you can dial into the show here on screen. I mean, you can make arguments. Buy Debo, don't sell him. Agree, Jeremy. I think Debo's in a good spot. I need 35 from Javonte tonight. Let's hope we get it. But I do feel like if Javonte shares all the work, gets 80 yards, or if he gets like 55 yards and a touchdown, that we're gonna have a lot of people freaking out, and there's gonna be a lot of buying low on Javonte walking into week 1. Which is why I wait to do the buy low, sell high show until after this Monday night game. You're live on the Fantasy Football Show. Who am I talking to?
Hey, Smitty, it's Kenneth. Just got 2 questions for you.
Hit me, Kenny.
All right. So I've got, let's see. I got A-Rob, Ayuk, Cass Walker, Rashad White, Elijah Moore, and Treylon Burks sitting on my bench. And I've got Henderson sitting on waivers. Who do I drop?
Henderson on waivers. Name your bench one more time.
I got Allen Robinson, Brandon Ayuk, Kenneth Walker, Rashad White, Elijah Moore, and Treylon Burks.
You either got to drop Burks or Rashad White. And I'm not saying I like the idea of dropping either one, but for Henderson, who's starting right now, you got to. So monitor Rashad White, let him go for now, but just know that I still like him. A lot of people are like, Smitty, is the Rashad White thing done? Like, it's a patience game. You know, if you have the ability to hold Khalil Herbert, Rashad White, Samir White, Pacheco, these are all win a league running backs that would be number 1 on the waiver wire if the starter went down. Eno Benjamin was a guy I said scoop up before week 1 in case they use him like Chase Edmonds in the game. Even with Connor not going down or something, he might have tons of value coming out of week 1. They used him a little bit, but no one's rushing to grab him. But now people are like, okay, I'm cutting him now. Like they're no patience. No one has any patience for the waiting on the stash running back game. It's not going to happen all the time in week 1. But in your scenario, Henderson shouldn't be a free agent, so you need to go get him. You could drop Treylon Burks, but it depends if you need a wide receiver. If you're never going to use Burks, I'd probably drop Burks and pick up so I could have both running backs, but and wait on Rashad White. But if you're needing a wide receiver more than a backup running back like that, then I think you can drop Rashad White and just monitor him.
Well, I mean, I don't think I need a wide receiver. I've got Jamar Chase, St. Brown, and Brandon Cooks, so I think I'm good there.
Yeah, then you could probably drop Burks. Not that he's not valuable, not that he couldn't get fed and come on strong, but, you know.
And then, so I've got Trey Lance at QB right now. I mean, and I'm not too worried because I got Javonte Williams, Saquon Barkley, Jamar Chase, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Kyle Pitts, and Brandon Cooks. But is there any way to get an upgrade there, you think? Or just wait on Trey Lance?
I mean, is Davis Mills out there on waivers?
Davis Mills is, but I mean, they'd have to drop someone else, so it'd probably have to be Treylon Burks.
Yeah, that's fine. But Mills should be on rosters. He shouldn't be out there on waivers because now you come out of week 1 with him being a hot commodity because he looked really good. And, you know, but grab him. Grab Mills. Grab Mills. That's your answer there for now. And I'd probably start him until you see Lance doing what Lance needs to do. You know, Davis Mills is a crafty low-end QB1.
Okay. So drop Treylon Burks and Rashad White and go grab Hendy and Mills.
I would. It's not a bad move at all.
I'm good. Thank you, Smitty.
I appreciate you, man. Call in anytime. This game's getting closer to being ready to rumble. This is what a matchup. I mean, Goodell and the way they work, you know, it's unbelievable how they decide things in the NFL. Like that suspension of Watson coming back to face his former team right out of his 11-game suspension, making the Seahawks face Russell Wilson in week 1. Like it's almost a painful punishment the way that they operate and do this. It's hilarious to me. How they schedule this stuff. Lance has Seattle next week. Yeah, you know what? That might be a good point to maybe don't lock Mills in. I suppose into your starting job. We need to look at it next week. So Kenny, we need to look at your quarterbacks next week. You're live on the Fantasy Football Show. Who am I talking to? Yellow. I love when people just hang up instead of being like, "Oh, sorry." They just hang up and then they call right back. They're always the next caller too. They'll hang up because they don't want to admit that they were and then they call right back. Oh, we got a special dialer on the line. Here it is.
Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Run the Dam.
Ron, you're live, buddy boy.
Hey, Smitty.
What's up, Ron? How you doing?
It's been a hell of a day.
Yep.
Well, I missed most of the show actually tonight. I was out of it. I was in the ER earlier, getting my foot looked at because it was swelled up. But
is it okay?
No, I took your. Yeah, I'm fine. They were checking for blood clots just in case, but I'm good.
Okay, good.
But no, your take on Najee, I agree. I'm I have him in underdog, and I don't have him bunches and redrafts or anything like that. But I'm with you. I would actually trade him. I don't think he's gonna, even if he plays. There's just something about it that he's just gonna have a lingering injury all year long.
It reeks of getting worse.
That's how I feel.
It reeks of getting worse. Like you can't take this in this situation and say to yourself, "Oh, this smells like it's going to get better." Like, how could it get better? The injury got worse between the offseason when it supposedly healed up, right? And he was able to play in the preseason game, which is reckless for them to even put him out there if he was even close to a point where, like, maybe he's not over it, maybe he's not. And he got worse from that moment until week 1. So, like, I just don't see. Look, it's adjust and adapt season. Every single week, it's adjust and adapt season, and unfortunately, we have to adjust and adapt. And you're a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, so I'm glad you're calling in and telling me you also agree it doesn't smell right. And maybe he ends up being good all year, but at the same time, like, you're getting a guy that should also be good all year, right? You're going to go make a good trade. So if it works out, it works out, and then everybody wins in the trade. But if it doesn't work out, you want to be the one that wins in the trade.
Now, one historical thing about the Steelers is when their main running backs go down, usually somebody steps right up. So Warren, keep an eye on Warren. If you can get Warren, he could potentially, history shows that the backups in Pittsburgh usually end up pretty good.
Yeah.
And Warren could be something that jumps out and could be a steal if you can get him. Or you maybe already have him as a cup. But also in redraft leagues where you play defenses, take advantage of how Pittsburgh's defense played, because I'd also get the most you can for them if you can, because the defense ain't going to be the same without Watt, that's for sure.
Yeah, I think, and you can see right here, I've got the waiver wire. This is not set up for week 2 yet. I just want everybody to know this is coming out of week 1. But we have moved these around a little bit, like from week 1 to saying, hey, yeah, things are going to change. Khalil Herbert looked good. Jalen Warren, Pacheco. Obviously, this is going to all change. Davis Mills shoots up. We're going to have other players that we add to it. This is just from last week's list. But Jalen Warren is going to be in the conversation of the number 1 waiver wire ad for the week. And he was on the list last week, to make sure that people that had spots could invest and hold. So definitely feel like, Jalen Warren might be, and I don't know where I'm going to rank him on my confidence level of being the top pickup of the year. Probably because Najee's fine. As of this moment, he's not going to rank, extremely, extremely high on that confidence level, because Najee's, expected to maybe play now week 2, which could change too, which is why I'm doing this show right now, which is why I went live an hour early to do the breaking news show and then ran into the normal time, because I wanted people to have as much time as possible to use this news to their advantage. Because what happens if tomorrow morning he's going and getting another look at it, and then they say, we're going to, just to be safe, we're going to shut it down for a month. So at least people have a jump on it. And for everybody that can attack a trade now before news could maybe change, I think the odds of it going in a negative direction are a lot higher than it going in a positive direction, is my thinking. And I think that's what I'm getting a sense that's how you feel, Like, it could only get worse for Najee.
Yeah.
I don't think it could get better. It could only, maybe if you're lucky, stay the same and he plays and he's kind of hurt all year, but he's able to get through it. And at the end of the year, he goes, yeah, my foot was hurting all year long. Didn't have the explosion that I wanted. There's no way it gets better. It just stays the same or it gets worse.
Yeah. I'm actually, I was, how high I was on the Steelers this year, but unless Tomlin comes to his common sense and puts in Pickett, I'm not confident with Trubisky. He had a 78 quarterback rating. That sucks.
Yeah.
And he just doesn't feel good with him in there. I mean, we should have had, if Pickett was in there, I would have guessed we would have had 3 or 4 touchdowns in that game at least. But it all depends on Tomlin, what he ends up doing. But he always does the wrong thing anyways, it seems like to me. So I'm kind of up on the Steelers overall. I mean, Deontay had that awesome catch. I mean, did you see that? I'm kind of liking Deontay, but not with Trubisky.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I think Pickett has a rapport with Pickens, but we'll see. We'll see. I mean, maybe Deontay and Pickens both survive very well under Pickett's command. We got Seattle, third down now. First drive, Geno.
Yeah.
I think people are very underrating Geno Smith. Not that he's a fantasy starter by any means. He's well outside the top 14, 15 quarterbacks in fantasy football. I'm not talking about that at all. James Conklin said, bye, Smitty. He's leaving. He's going to watch the Javonte season. We'll probably get off here in a second. But I think Geno Smith is getting really, really doubted when he can move the football and he can connect with DK. We'll see what happens here. Third down and 3. Geno takes the snap, throws the football.
That was a good
Lockett. First down. Moving the football.
Yeah, he first down the lock. Yeah, I think people are underrating Lockett and Metcalf, so you're going to find that, if you were able to pick up either one of those players, I think that you're going to be pleasantly surprised this year, even with Geno. I feel better with Geno than I do if Locke was in there.
Yeah, Locke's not good.
Seattle might not have a winning record this year, but I think those 2 receivers will get enough work to where they'll be beneficial in the fantasy world at least.
Hey, I got a G Money super chat here, a $5 holler. It says this super chat is a shout out to Ron Navy for recommending Warren.
Oh yeah, hey. Yeah, Warren I think could be special. I mean, time will tell, but we're gonna have to see. And now if it was if they wouldn't have picked up Warren and they would have went in with their normal
DK.
What do we call him?
DK.
We wouldn't have been good with their old running backs, but Warren, he could end up being something special.
Yeah, Warren's pretty good. He's definitely a must cuff. If you didn't cuff him and you have Najee, you should be ashamed of yourself, first of all. Second of all, you need to run out there and grab him just to secure your situation up. DK grabbing a nice little snag there. Yeah. Look, DK's a monster. Penny running for 2 or 3 yards. I can't wait for Walker to get out there. I've got people asking me left and right if they should cut Walker, and it's like, what are you doing? We knew what was going on with that from the beginning. There's no surprise with Walker not playing in this game, and there's no surprise with Walker. Maybe even if he was healthy and he never had the hernia, Walker may have been in a 50-50 timeshare in week 1. It's very similar to Breece Hall, to where it's going to take, maybe even to week 4 or 5. Like, people have to be patient with these running backs. And running backs hit a rookie wall, so it's not the end of the world if they get off slow. What?
Like I was going to say, in best ball, that was a good touchdown.
Wow. Was he across the line of scrimmage or no? Wow,
no, I don't think so. I think he got Disley.
Geno Smith touchdown. Putting some Will Disley, 38-yard touchdown. You got to love it. Seattle scoring on the first drive. Geno Smith slipping some what appeared to be a sack, a loss of like 8. But no, he slips out, runs, scrambles, tosses it to Disley. Disley's wide open, catches it around the 20-yard line and just like walks into the end zone from the 20-yard line out.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Well, I mean, Seattle's got a lot of they're playing at home. They got the 12th man, and all Seattle's heard is how Russell Wilson's going to come up there and kick their ass, and so they got a lot to play for tonight.
Yeah, nice job, Disley.
A lot of motivation.
All right, Ron Navy.
But what I was going to say is, I took Hall and I took Walker in best ball a lot, not thinking they were going to start out the season great, but thinking that toward the end of the season, those are the players I want on my team for the best ball, because that's about the time that I expect them to really break out. And so I'm not panicking on either one of those players. I think their time will come. But you just got to be patient on some of these players, and they're probably going to do you right toward the end of your, toward the end of the season when it counts, when you're in your playoffs and stuff like that. So just be patient.
Yeah, and hey, Top Gun, I'm sorry it took me so long. Top Gun, you still here? Top Gun had a super chat here. Najee for Eckler. What do I think? Of course, and that's going to be on the buy low sell high video. You're going to see this is one of the top recommended moves to get out of Najee Harris. Debo and another player, and it has to be another player. Debo and another player for Najee, Eckler, and you may have to give up a little more with Najee to get Eckler, and that's fine. So if you've got like a Michael Carter, you've got a James Robinson, you got somebody that you can say, hey, here, take this extra player, and I'll give you my Najee, who's healthy now. That he's going to play week 2. Okay, here, take Najee, and then I'll take Eckler. That's going to be, it's going to be definitely the move to make. So Eckler, Debo, these are 2 players that you want to figure out trade packages for Najee Harris, for sure. All right, Ron. Ron, I hope your foot's okay.
Have a good night, buddy.
Yeah, I hope your foot's okay. You're good, though?
We'll talk to you later.
You're good, though?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah.
Okay. Can we drop some anchors for Ron? All right, Ron. We'll see you on
We'll talk to everybody later.
Later.
Bye.
Bye. All right, I'm gonna wait for Javonte, and it might be Melvin Gordon. I don't want everybody freaking out. Melvin Gordon's in there the first 2 or 3 carries. Like, I know everyone's gonna start, crapping the bed, and saying Javonte's, what do we do now? Melvin Gordon started the game. What are we doing now, Smitty? What are we doing with Javonte? What are we doing with Javonte? Just relax. Relax. Keep in mind that JT wasn't really fully unlocked the way that JT ended up finishing at the beginning of the year last year. So let's just calm down with it. But I'm excited here. I'm excited. I hope Javonte is out there very, very early on. Geno looked good. I'm telling you, people are underrating Seattle. People are underrating Geno. I don't think Seattle's amazing, but they're certainly not horrible. Here comes Russ. That looks like Javonte Williams running out. Let's go, Javonte. On the field already. You got to love it. You got to love it. They want Javonte to be the guy. Melvin Gordon even said it. Oh, where's my football? Here we go. Holding it. Tackle breaking monster. If he gets a handoff and runs the end zone on one play, I'm going to lose it. I'm going to lose it. Okay. Oh, what? Catch the ball, 83. Beck. A little nervous. I'm a little nervous. I haven't been nervous about any player in a while. I'm just so excited about Javonte. Part of me has some concerns and worries about the staff not knowing what they have. I mean, I won't lie. Like that does creep in. You see it so much over and over. It makes you worry a little bit. But I'm just so excited for it to just finally be here. It's Javonte. No handoff to Javonte. Okay, Beck finally caught the ball. Thank you, Beck, for making. Look at this big play. Look at Beck. One moment, Beck looks like a total washout scrub. The next minute, Beck takes it about what? I don't know. 15 yards downfield. making up for his huge, massive mistake of a dropsy. Attaboy. All right, now we got some wiggle room. Now we got some wiggle room. Beck, the leading receiver of the day. After Disley, of course. All right, here we go. Now Melvin Gordon. Is it Melvin Gordon? No, that's still Javonte. Yes, I think it's still Javonte. Attaboy. We'll take 9 yards a pop. We'll take Javonte averaging 9 yards a carry.
Mashed potatoes.
Yeah, buddy. I'll take 9 yards a pop. You guys okay with 9 yards a carry? Can we dial up 9 yards a carry, please? Blue 32, flex capacitor 7. Beck again? Beck, what's Beck doing? This guy Beck is going to be the number one waiver wire of the God, this kid Beck. You know somebody's going to come to me and say, Beck, do I pick him up? Where do I pick him up, Smitty? I mean, what a nice one-handed grab. This guy dropped the first toss thrown his way, and I thought he was done. I thought he was released. I thought he was toast. This guy looks like George Kittle out there. All right, let's hand this ball off. Let's do it right. You're getting some room to run. Javonte season. Give him the football. The man averages 9 yards a carry. The man averages 9 yards per carry.
Mashed potatoes.
I mean, it's 9 yards a carry season for Javonte. This guy averages 9 yards per carry. Unbelievable. He gets a touchdown in this drive. I don't know what I'm going to do. They keep moving this. They keep. Oh, Javonte. I like that they're throwing to him. I like that Russell Wilson's looking Javonte's direction when he's in trouble and he needs to throw the football. Javonte almost made a nice grab. Russell Wilson was scrambling around. That would have been a very, very nice little catch. God, Javonte just looks the part. You know what I mean? When you see a running back and you're like, dude, that it looks like, you know how JT has this vibe and look? He just kind of looks like the guy. Looks like a running back. You know how Priest Holmes looked like a running back? Javonte just, he has that vibe. Let's go. Let's get a Javonte touchdown right here. Let's go. Oh, come on. Come on. That was a handoff. You hate to see it. You hate to see it. You hate to see it. Everything's set up perfectly. And the offensive line. Come on, bro. Who was that? 73? Did they put Gordon in? This might be the beginning part of what's frustrating is that they do bring Gordon in after Javonte does all the hard work. He's not getting, this guy ain't getting 9 yards of carry. Put Javonte in. Javonte gets 9 yards a pop. Take him out. Take him out. Get Javonte in. Take him out. Take him out. Breeze, Smitty. Javonte season's going. It is going. Come on, Javonte. Get him in there. Get him in there. He looked good, though. That's not 9 yards of carry, Sandu. What are we doing? What are we doing putting in Melvin Gordon? 3.9 yard per carry Melvin Gordon. It's Javonte season. That's the ticket. All right, something short. We want a first down. Okay, Melvin. Melvin slipped and fell. I mean, Javonte would have kept running, but that's okay. I think he's tired. I think Javonte needs Melvin needs a breather. Can we sub? Come on. He's like he's walking on a balance beam. You know, catches the football. Melvin Gordon falls straight on his face. All right. Well, McManus is coming in. That's going to do it for today. Appreciate you all coming in and hanging out with me as we kicked off this Monday Night Football game. It is now 3-7. I was not giving Seattle the proper respect. 3-7. Seattle Seahawks are winning. They scored on their first drive, and Javonte Williams was ripping off 9 yards of run. Let's go. Appreciate you all. I'll see you all tomorrow. If news breaks, I'll go live. Otherwise, I'll see you at 7 p.m. Eastern. Don't know if I'll do a Q&A tonight. You never know. I might. But look for the Waiver Wire show to drop. I might have it dropping late night, or it'll drop on Tuesday early morning. I'm not sure yet. So get ready for the Waiver Wire show. Peace out. And the schedule might change on the top banner of the YouTube channel. I have the schedule in the top banner. I have Waiver Wire Monday, but it might move it all forward one day. Waiver Wire Monday, Tuesday, or Waiver Wire Tuesday, Wednesday, Panic Chamber, Thursday. Wednesday and Thursday might be Panic Chamber and Buy Low, Sell High. I'm not sure how I'm going to do it yet. But appreciate you all. See you all tomorrow or maybe tonight. People are getting burrowed left and right, and people are going to remember it.
Get burrowed.
Don't you lose faith in your Joseph Burrow. You hear me? Go Javonte. See you all tomorrow. Or maybe tonight.